I rank where the view is nothing less than phenomenal for how I express and project from my abdominal. The only view better, both my daddy and my mama know. No living parents, my sons give me balance. My wife is my serenity, this mic is my identity. The world is foul enough, that's why I write without obscenities. Provoking danger with broken language and spoken anguish. Begging to get hurt, why would you ask to go through changes? Yes, Lord, life's a chessboard, master the angles. Control the tempo, be the one who holds the info. Acknowledge is just as deadly as machete swings. When spoken, the truth is as potent as that Medellin. While others swear the style is free, I just let it ring. Our time is undervalued, soldiers make us better kings. My fans on my shoulder, reaching after better things. Today I take the shot, for them I'd rather set the screen.
My mama told me follow my dreams. My daddy told me get it by any means. Stand tall, make him bow to a king. But I've evolved, you can see the resolve. Look in my eyes when you speaking to God.
Life and for those who we caught up in using what I was taught with the muse. I guess they call it proving I'm more than an artist. Penciling out my darkest while stenciling out a harvest. And storing what gets me from A to B, just like garages. Instrumental with collages. Envision what I've been drawing. Broadway to give you rhythm like the great Lena Horne. So bent on, found comfort in the storm. Find peace and on when you see them others perform. Organized chaos, outcasted like hey ya.
Yo, party people in the place to be. What's good? It's number one Chief Rockin' Knicks Universe, your main man, Uncle Freezy, and welcome to the Knicks Morning Drive. Salute everybody. It's good to see y'all, man. It's good to see y'all. It's good to be with y'all. Good Sunday morning. Good Sunday morning to everybody, man. We're about to talk that Knicks talk the way that y'all like to have that talk to y'all. Man, my apologies for not coming through last night, man. My intent was to do that, man. I think I caught like a virus or something. Something had your man down. Man down. But here we are. So we back at it. I have my intent is to rock solo dolo at least for the first 30-35 minutes or so. Before I put the invite out there, and the reason being is because I have a lot of questions that I want to ask out loud, and because I want to reconnect with my people, and I think I have about 21 questions or so that I want to go over with you guys. First of all, so let me salute the chat. Coach Malpica's in the chat. Salute, Coach. Cowboy Bob is in the chat. Mr. Dunris is in the chat this morning. Good mornings. Pastor J is in the building. Salute. DJ Star Vibes is in the building. Kenny Payne is in the building. Just Knicks. Salute to y'all. Salute. It's good to be in y'all presence, man. I'm glad y'all are here to rock the spot with me. Help me control this thing somewhat. So the Knicks are looking to trade for Karl Anthony Towns. And one of the principal or two of the principal outgoing pieces, based on rumors that we've heard, Julius Randle and Dante DiVincenzo. And you guys know, if you've been around these parts long enough, you know my two heartstrings on the Knicks, going back from last season, my two heartstrings from the Knicks were Julius Randle and Dante DiVincenzo. My two heartstrings, right? That's neither here nor there in terms of the general conversation, right? In terms of the general conversation, when we include everyone, including yourselves, right? What you say and how you feel as a Knicks fan is important, right? So no matter how much we speak about what goes on now, don't get it twisted. We care about how you feel as a Knicks fan. Now, will we tell you how to be a Knicks fan? Nah, that's up to you, right? But will we encourage you to participate and add your opinion? Of course. And I encourage you to take advantage of that. But I have a few things that I want to man, it's more than a few. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm looking at, I don't know if y'all can see the screen or not, but I have about, so I have about 21, 22 different things on here that I'm gonna bring up. And I want to bring these things up with you guys. Get your opinions on it, of course. And maybe some things, so maybe some of these things may be recycled and maybe some of these things are new. I invite you to participate anyway. It's just I'm searching for a level of clarity with the moves that are made this summer and connecting the dots. To connecting the dots to me is important as a Knicks fan because I like to follow along. I like to follow the narratives. You understand me? You understand what I'm saying? Like I legit like to understand the reason why things are done. Like when we were kids, you know how like when people say something to you, like, "Hey, go make up your bed." Why? Why I gotta make up my bed? Just do it, man. Yo, wash your face, wash behind your ears, wash your feet, wash between your toes. Right? Keep your hands clean. Why? Just do it. Right? That's a little humor, a little Sunday morning humor there for those that have little kids or grandbabies right now. So, but anyway, let me start this conversation first of all by saying, if you have not done so, if you're watching and you have not subscribed to the channel already, consider subscribing to the channel. Hit that like button. When you come in the door, hit that like button, man. Help us continue to grow by hitting that like button, sharing, so that we can bring others in the community, into the community also. So I have a goal for the end of the year of having 4,000 subscribers. So if you can help us get to 4,000 subscribers, hitting that subscribe button, hit that like button, I'd appreciate that. And the Blarnes Tears family will appreciate that. So let me get started with this. I have a few things written down like I told you, right? Are the Knicks going to miss the shooting of Dante DiVincenzo? I understand that Karl-Anthony Towns is a principal piece. I understand that Julius Randle is a principal piece of the trade. The trade's not done without Julius Randle, right? But are the Knicks going to miss the shooting of Dante DiVincenzo? And so here's the thing. Here's the thing. We can easily say that Landry Shamet is also a good shooter. On decent volume, if you give him decent volume, he could still be a good shooter. We could easily say, well, Deuce shot 40% from three last year, but it wasn't on high volume. I think there is a certain level of synergy that Josh Hart, Dante DiVincenzo, and Jalen Brunson had together that provided for Dante being able to set career highs, personal career highs. Shot Legacy in the building, Wacko in the building, Masters in the building, salute. Dripmore is in the building, salute. Are we going to miss the shooting of Dante DiVincenzo? And it's not at certain moments, right? The clutch moments, every team, whether you want to admit it or not, every team is going to miss clutch moments. And Dante DiVincenzo, in the 1 year with us, had a lot of clutch moments. The king of all Ribbies is in the building. RM, Ribby the King, is in the building. Salute. Salute. Rels is in the building. Salute to Star Relly. Star Relly is in the building. Salute. That's my brother, everybody. Star Relly. That's my brother from another in the building. Salute to Star Relly. We Talk Mavs. They got a lot of stuff going on. They so busy. Star Relly and We Talk Mavs. They so busy they done forgot about the bruh. They don't forgot about the bruh. Hey, but we coming, bro. Hey, Rels, we coming, bro. We on the way. Yo, Hinton Murphy is in the building. Yo, you sent me. So Murphy sent me a text message yesterday, and I was so busy doing like a million things, man. Yo, Murphy, I didn't get a chance to answer, bro, but I had a lot of stuff going on yesterday, man. So pardon self for that, right? Just I saw it and I was like, yo, I got to get back. I got to call this dude. I got to call this man. But then I just had a lot of stuff going on, man. So yeah, man. So the thing about Dante DiVincenzo is that it's not just about the box score production. Dante DiVincenzo legit was the perfect complement to Jalen Brunson. And in a backcourt, you have to have complementary players. Even if you have a star, the guy you put next to your star has to be complementary. Right? It's like cheeseburgers and fries. Right? Even though the cheeseburger is the star of the dish, the fries are a perfect complement. Right? And you can legit ask Starrelli what it's like to have a superstar player and not have a perfect complement in the backcourt with him to take advantage of all the abilities of your star player. You have to have the perfect complementary piece. It's not like yin and yang that brings balance. It doesn't necessarily have to bring balance. It just has to be the perfect complement. It's like back in the days when we used to rock the Johnson baby powder and Cool Water cologne. Have you feeling fresh? Right? It's like back in the day when we used to wear the puff Nikes and fat shoestrings. It's the perfect complement to each other. You have to have that in order to get the very best out of your star player. Now, with that said, I guess my question to you is do the Knicks have the perfect complement to Jalen Brunson in the backcourt? Is that player on the roster right now, or do they have to search for that player? Dante was a perfect complement. Dante was a perfect complement because he played just enough defense to have us forget that Jalen Brunson is not a defender, right? And he provided enough spot up shooting and clutch shooting to keep defenses from absolutely smothering Jalen Brunson every trip down the floor. Now, yeah, I know people are gonna say, "Well, man, Brunson be cooking dudes." No. Listen, when our backcourt was Quentin Grimes and Jalen Brunson could cook, but he couldn't be effective. Right? Jalen Brunson could cook, but he wasn't as effective as he should be. It's like the Justice League feeling, right? It's like that feeling of the Justice League where sure Batman can solve a lot of stuff on his own, but having the help of Aquaman and Wonder Woman and the Wonder Twins and the alien in the blue and red suit that made Batman more effective. And since we're in a talent acquisition mode, it feels as if we can just add any talented player next to Jalen Brunson, and that's not accurate. That's not accurate. Fritz Alcindor is in the building. Wacko says, threw on my belly shoes. And my Wacko got it. Okay, I can't. Okay, all right. Well, hey, I tried to say, Wacko, I tried to slide that one in. I thought I was gonna get it by you, but y'all got me. Yo, Smitty is in the building. Salute. Torres is in the building. Salute. Illmatic is in the building. One of the dopest screen names ever. Illmatic. One of the dopest screen names ever. So what do the Knicks do now for a compliment to Jalen Brunson? A guy that's going to be that clutch performer. A guy that's going to defend bigger guards looking to get on a heater. What are the Knicks going to do? Right? We can't just slide Mikal Bridges there and say that he's a better version of Dante because they're, in theory, they're two different style of players. Bigger doesn't mean better in this case. Bigger doesn't mean better in this case, right? White Falcon is in the building. I think the absence of Dante DiVincenzo is going to present a problem if not addressed. If the Dante DiVincenzo replacement thing is not a major concern, I think we may have short-term issue until we figure it out. With that said, I appreciate the contribution of Dante DiVincenzo to this Knicks roster. I appreciate the contribution of Dante DiVincenzo to the Knicks culture. So if Dante DiVincenzo or Dante's fans or Dante's people are watching, thank you for your contribution to the Knicks culture, and we appreciate you. With that said, I'm gonna ask you guys this. Yo, Torres is in the building. Salute. I'm gonna ask you guys this. Is the Nova thing a real thing? I believed the Nova thing was a real thing. I believed the Nova thing was a real thing, but now seeing Jalen Brunson being okay with trading one of his brothers, I can't buy into it anymore. I can't buy into the Nova Boys thing as being a real life thing anymore. I can't buy into the brotherhood thing. Right? I can't buy into I can't buy into the we came up together thing. And not that that's a good thing or a bad thing, or I'm not saying that I'm right or I'm wrong. What I'm saying is I don't know if I buy into the we are family thing now. Right now, here's the thing: once the press conferences happen, and once media day gets here, and all of that stuff, I'm certain I will be reassured that we are family. I got all my brothers and sisters and me. We are family. I'm sure we'll buy into. I'm sure there'll be a level of assurance. But at this moment, when you trade Dante, it makes me think maybe not. Maybe it's about Brunson. And listen, and no, and listen, and listen. Trust me, I'm not blaming Jalen Brunson for any of this, because if anything, this is what we should have done for Carmelo. This is what we should have done for Stephon Marbury. This is what we should have done for Pat Ewing. This is what we should have did for Bernard King, right? And if they're doing this, and if it's all about Brunson, finally, the Knicks take the approach of supporting their best player. No doubt we should have did this for Carmelo Anthony. No doubt we should have did this for Stephon Marbury. No doubt we should have did this for Patrick Ewing. No doubt we should have did this for Bernard King. So if it's just about surrounding your best player, your franchise player, with the talent that he wants and deserves, I'm with it. I'm with it. If that's the case, if it's not about the Nova Boys and it's all about Brunson, that's what we want to do. But I challenge you. I challenge you as a Knicks fan to recognize everything that's being done, and if you like it, at least give kudos to the people that are pulling pulling off these moves. So if the Knicks are finally doing things in a way that you like and appreciate, man, we should show some love to the people that's actually pulling off the moves. Right? I think it's only fair. But the Nova Boys thing, whether I'm right or wrong, and listen, you guys have the right to your own opinion. And listen, I respect y'all opinion. I respect y'all opinion, right? I respect the fact that y'all have one. Let me restate that. I respect the fact that we share our opinions, because I don't agree with every opinion, and I'm not supposed to, because the way you opine is on you. The way you opine is on you. Everybody has their own differences and their own experiences and their own biases and their own likes and dislikes. So when you state your opinion, it's yours, based on your biases, based on your experiences, based on a bunch of different things. So however you get to your opinion is however you get there. Shotgunner is in the building. I always felt like Shotgunner was my brother. I always felt like Shotgunner was my rich younger brother that always kept everything for himself. Shotgunner, my richer, more charismatic, more handsomer younger brother that kept everything for himself. I here talking about me against the world. Salute the Shotgunner. That's my guy. Salute the Shotgunner. G. Robinson is in the building. JJ, what's good, man? JJ47K is in the building. And listen, I see y'all comments and stuff. I just got to think. I just need to cook for a few minutes, and after I cook for these few minutes or so, man, I'm gonna read the comments and put the link in the chat, and then open up the discussion and all of that, man. We got we got old school Knicks coming your way at 11, so I'm gonna try to rock up till that point. But I want to get some things off my chest. I want to get some things off my chest just real quick. So the Nova Boys thing, listen, I don't care how we got to the point where we are right now, right? Well, no, let me restate. I overstepped again. I do care how we got to this point, because the RJ Barrett, Emmanuel Quickly trade is still kind of tricky for me to navigate emotionally. The Julius Randle and Dante trade is kind of difficult for me to navigate emotionally, because those were my two heartstrings. But it's like most things, you have to give to get. Big Oso is in the building. The Nova Boys thing has got me on a slippery slope, because I want to believe in the brotherhood and things that go along with playing with your college teammates and lifelong friends. But then I don't want to, at the same time, I don't want to be in this realm of thinking Jalen Brunson was okay with trading his brother. I don't want to be okay with that. Like, we can't legit sit around and say Nova Boys, Nova Boys, Nova Boys, and then somebody in the Nova Boys says, you telling me we can get a center to replace Mitchell Robinson if I trade one of my homeboys? You see how tricky that sounds in your mind? You see how tricky that sounds in your mind when you say out loud, yo, we can replace a kid that was drafted by the Knicks and has been a starter with the Knicks for the last 3.5, 4 years. We can replace him with the out-of-towner. See, it's tricky, bro. It's tricky the way you phrase it. Now, maybe I said it in a negative way. I feel like I'm saying it in the most neutral way possible. Very neutral. Very neutral. You telling me, and this is me being Jalen Brunson, you telling me I can replace Mitch with Karl Anthony Towns, and all it costs is Randall and my brother since we were 17 years old? Do it. Do it. Do it. East Blue Drew is in the building. And who else came in here? I thought I saw somebody else come in here. Oh, yeah. Wilder's in the building. Salute, Michelle. What's good? Metz is in the building. Aunt Dub is in the building. So I want to believe the Nova thing, but I don't want to get into this. I want to believe it, but I don't want to be naive either. Did Jalen Brunson give the front office the okay to trade Dante? And this is not a backstabbing thing. It's none of that. I'm not saying any of that stuff. What I'm pointing out is it about the Nova boys or is it about Brunson? Because if it's about Brunson, hey, let's go. Finally, the Knicks are supporting their star. We should have done this for years. If this is a move that Dolan and the front office, they're saying, listen, Jalen Brunson has a 4-year window. This Jalen Brunson thing going forward has a 4-year shelf life. And in these 4 years, we are going to build around Jalen Brunson. If that's the mindset, I agree 100% with them. If the mindset is we have lightning in the bottle and we're going to aim it, hey, bro, listen, weaponize it. Weaponize it. It's akin to when the Asians had gunpowder and they were shooting off fireworks. And when the rest of the world found out what it could do, they turned it into a weapon. Right? Asians had gunpowder and they were shooting things in the air and everybody was in awe. Oh, wow, look at that. And then when everybody else got it, they weaponized it. You know, and I hate to put it in those terms, but that's the only. I'm not Einstein. Everybody, listen, I'm not Einstein. I'm just trying to relay my thoughts in a way that can be received by my people. Like I'm just trying to communicate in a way that's palatable. Right. That's just it. I'm just trying to trying to communicate. I know that's a bad. Andrew calls it. He say, "What? I know. My bad. I'm sorry, bro. I'm just trying to explain it in a way. I'm just trying to explain it in a way that's palatable, right? The way that you can receive it. So if this is about Jalen Brunson, man, listen. Okay, I'm with it. I don't have a problem with it, but I don't want it to be disguised as something else. Keep it real. Is this what that man wanted to do? And if it is, cool. Cool. Just be upfront with us. Don't finesse us. Just be real. So my other thing too, though, and this is for like the day ones. This is for my day one people, right? For the ones that support, for the ones, this is for all my people that always show up and support. I have a question for you guys. Right? Right. And it's not like not like the new members of the family aren't accepted. We love y'all too. We love y'all too. But I'm gonna challenge the ones that's been here for a while because they've been challenged in so many different ways that is fun to them. So I'm gonna challenge them. I have a special treat for them, right? Was the Isaiah Hartenstein signing really ever a thing? Was the Isaiah Hartenstein signing ever a thing? Son from Brooklyn is in the building. Chop Low, what's good, my brother? Bo Ismail is in the building. Was the Isaiah Hartenstein re-signing thing a thing, or was it cover? Were we saying that we were going to do it so that others wouldn't deep six the Karl Anthony Towns trade? Was Karl Anthony Towns the target all along? So, and let me rephrase it. I'm gonna simplify the question. Was the Isaiah Hartenstein re-signing a distraction from the pending Karl Anthony Towns trade? I want to get your thoughts on that. Because if it was, is it not the most impressive move you ever saw? Right? See, if it was, then that means the Knicks front office made 2 or 3 counter moves before the cat deal. So listen, this is when I was thinking about what I was going to talk to y'all about this morning. My thought was, did the Knicks eliminate competition for Cat to drive the market down in order for them to go acquire Cat on the low? See, because here's the thing, Oklahoma City had way more than enough assets to trade for Karl Anthony Towns. Oklahoma City could have legit traded for Karl Anthony Towns and had the cap space, the draft picks, the young players, all of that to trade for Cat. Or did the Knicks drive up the price of Hartenstein to take others out of the equation, so when they came back to Minnesota to say, hey, give us Cat, put the money in the bag? The blue collar gent is in the building. Salute. Harrigan is in the building. Salute. So I don't know if this is true or accurate. That's why I'm asking you. And if you have this in video, I'm asking you. And for those of you guys listening on audio, whether in your headphones or through your car speakers or your headphones at work, for the ones listening on audio, I'm asking you. But for the ones that have the video up, I'm asking you this question. Did the Knicks outfox the league by driving up the price of Hartenstein so that suitors could go out and sign Hartenstein so that it could limit the market for Karl Anthony Towns? And then now their asking price for Karl Anthony Towns is Julius Randle and Dante DiVincenzo. My brother Allah Wise is in the building. My charismatic younger brother Ivory 10 is in the building. Yo, listen, there is nobody more charismatic on the joint than Ivory 10, y'all. Sometimes, some Ivory 10 be talking, I just sit back and I'm like, salute to Ivory 10. That's my guy. King Ember is in the building. Salute. So that's one of the questions I asked myself. Did the Knicks outfox the league on Hartenstein? Did the Knicks legit to eliminate the competition so that they can negotiate with Minnesota about Karl Anthony Towns? Because if they did, then now we're talking about a upper level type of business maneuvering. And if they did, oh, my 2 cents is in the building. Salute. So here's the other question. Here's my follow-up, or so I have a question adjacent. So I have a question adjacent to the statement that I just made. If the Knicks were in the market for Cat, if the Knicks were in the market for Cat, did they give up on Mitchell Robinson once Mitch got hurt in the playoffs? You know how you see something happen and you just like, y'all know how y'all do that? You know how y'all know how y'all react. We all human here. We all human. We're all human here. When Mitchell Robinson got hurt in the playoffs, did the Knicks go, we can't win with him. We can't trust him. When Mitch got hurt, was that the death knell? When Mitch got hurt, was it when Embiid twisted Mitch's ankle and nothing happened there? Mitch walked out and we had no viable center depth. Did the Knicks say, you know what? We can't move forward with him? Did that Mitchell Robinson injury sway the other half of the Knicks front office into a Karl Anthony Towns trade? Because here's the thing. When OG Anunoby got hurt in the playoffs, I knew as soon as I saw OG grab his hamstring, I was like, the Knicks going to go out and get them another wing player this offseason. Now, did I know it was going to be Mikal Bridges? No. No, of course not. But when I saw OG grab that hamstring, I was like, yep, they're going to go out and get 2 more wing players, you know what I'm saying, to help OG stay healthy. They're going to go out and get some wing players. Because you can't have this happen. You can't put all your eggs in one basket unless that's a hell of a basket. You can't put your eggs all in one basket unless it's a Jokic basket, unless it's a Luka basket, unless it's a Brunson basket, unless it's a Embiid basket, unless it's a Giannis basket, unless it's a Anthony Edwards basket. You can't put all your eggs in a basket for very good players. You just can't. And as soon as OG got hurt, I can imagine the Knicks front office saying, we can get to this place easily, but we can't go forward from this place without having quality depth. Like Brunson and Randall, or Brunson and whoever can get us to the second round easily. That's where we are. We're a second round team. We wake up every day as a second round team, right? That's the floor. That's the floor. If Brunson gets hurt, if Cat gets hurt, if OG gets hurt, if Bridges gets hurt, if Hart gets hurt, we're still a second round team. And not all of them. I'm saying if one or two of those guys get hurt, we're still a second. Not all of them, because of course Any team that loses all their best players at one time is going to be a lottery team. We expect that. Almighty Finesse is in the building. Son from Brooklyn, thank you for the generous contribution. Son from Brooklyn says Knicks fans are going to miss Devo, but in Leon Rose we trust. Some of Cat's best numbers in his career came from playing under Coach Tibbs. Yep. Get used to that. Get used to that. I'm gonna get to the Cat part in a few minutes. I just wanna unravel the Knicks questions first. And I know Cat is about to be a Knick in all of that. I get that part. And so I'm gonna unravel the Karl Anthony Towns part, but I want to talk about the questions that are in the air. Nick P is in the building. Hey, and son, listen, man. Hey, son, thank you. I really, really appreciate the fact that you be around and coming through and commenting and stuff. And thank you for going through the process of the super chat here, man. I appreciate y'all. I appreciate everybody that go through the process of the super chats and stuff to help us keep the lights on and stuff in here. So I appreciate y'all. And listen, and am I sliding OG and Anobi? No, I'm not. I love OG, right? So don't get that twisted. I love OG and I love Mitch, right? But this is not about who I love as a player or trying to defame them. That's not what I'm doing. What I'm talking about is the progress of the team. The second round is the floor for this team, easily. Without Jalen Brunson, if Jalen Brunson slips on a banana peel, or gets hit by a Super Mario mushroom or something and is gone for a while, the Knicks still are a second round team, in my opinion. Right? And in my opinion, they're just in any conference. This team, the roster is so well put together that this team, even with a significant injury, is still a second round team. Right? They proved it last year with a bunch of injuries. Soulfinger is in the building. Doc Gable is in the building. Salute. I think once the Knicks saw Mitch get hurt, they're like, no shade to Mitch, but you got to be on the floor, big boy. You got to be. We can live without your offense, right? We can live with the fact that you're not an offensive player. We can live with the fact that at times your free throws look like laser beams. But what we can't live without is you. So for all Mitch people that think I'm a Mitch hater, I'm not a Mitch hater. I'm not. I like Mitch. I like Mitch. Ivory 10 is in the chat, typing in all caps, yelling. Who's Ivory 10 yelling at in the chat? I can't even read it. It looks like a ransom note. Like when you like Ivory, hey, Ivory 10, you know when you type in all caps, bro. I got you. Ivory 10 wrote a ransom note in the chat. So salute to Ivory 10. Salute to Ivory 10, man. Salute to Ivory 10. DDS is in the building. Salute. Yeah, man. Q Hicks is in the building. It's good to see you, brother. Good to see you. Mr. Trudat is in the building. Salute. King Ember's like, yo, we outside with it. Yeah, we outside with it, bro. We here. We here. Yo, wait a minute. Is that 100 people in the chat? Let me sound the air horn. Let me see if I got an air horn or something. Do we have an air horn or something? We got 100 people. Oh, we got 100 people in the chat. We got 100 people in the chat. Yo, if we get 200 people in the chat, I'm gonna try to play something special. So if we get 200 people in the chat, we're gonna try to play something special. So salute to all 100 people, 100 or so people in the chat, man. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Salute to all of y'all. I hope y'all morning is going well. I hope y'all morning is going well, man. Thank y'all all for being here. Right. Juan B is in the building. Salute. So I have about let me see. I have about man, look, I still got like 20 other points that I want to get to, man. And so I may not get to them all. But because I did promise that I was going to put the link in the chat so that we can have an open forum, an open discussion. But before that, I'm going to do 2 more points. I want to do 2 more points, and then I'm going to put the link in the chat so that we can have the open conversation. Was Jalen Brunson on board for bringing in Cat? Was legit? Did Jalen Brunson take less money so that we can bring in Cat? Did Jalen Brunson know beforehand that he needed to take less in order for Cat to be here? And is that the reason why Julius Randle is not here right now? Listen to the question that I'm asking you guys, right? Did Jalen Brunson know beforehand that if he took less money, that Cat would be a Knick? And did Julius Randle know beforehand if he took less money, that Cat could be a Knick? And is that the reason why Julius Randle is no longer here? That's my question to you guys. Is it in the grand scheme of things? In the grand scheme of things, is that really important to what's happening on the floor? Maybe not. But if Randle knew that if he took $35 million a year, or took what Brunson took, $37 million a year, and not look for $50 a year, is there a world that exists where we have Randle, Cat, Brunson, and all of those guys? Is that a thing? I know the calculator guys are always going to point to the calculator, right? The calculator is their logo. I get it. Because in the chat, it's probably about 50 or 60 calculator guys that'll say, well, the money wouldn't work. And I'm here to tell you that teams don't always do one-to-one trades. Justo, yo, Miss Mocha was like, yo, that dude Justo really loved the show. We were out yesterday, man. I had a virus yesterday, and we were out traveling yesterday. And Mocha was like, yo, that dude Justo really loved the show. And I was like, yo, we really love Justo back. We really love Justo, man. We love what he brings to the channel. You know what I'm saying? Like when Justo's on the panel, Justo sounds like the most sincere Knicks fan you ever heard in your life. Like, yo, Justo legit sounds like the most passionate Knicks fan you ever when he on a panel. Now he not always up here, but when he does get up here, though, man, it's awesome having him here. Hey, Justo, thank you for the generous contribution. Justo says, "What a time to be a Knicks fan." Chips in the middle now. Chips in the middle now, guys. Every time a Wolves star big man gets traded, they win a chip. KG, Kevin Love, Cat. Great point. Hey, somebody. There you go, Justo. See what I mean? I ain't even read this beforehand. I didn't even pre-read. Some of y'all I just trust, right? Some of y'all I just trust. Like I'll just see the name and I'll just read it. Justo was like, yo, somebody put some thumbs up in the chat for Justo, man. Yo, hey, Mo, you right. Can you hear me? You right about Justo. Yo, word ball. We was talking about Justo yesterday in the car. We was out driving, right? Traveling yesterday. That's what Coach was doing the show, and salute to Coach for doing the show yesterday. So Justo says, "What a time to be a Knicks fan. Chips in the middle now, guys. Every time a Wolves star big man gets traded, they win a chip. Kevin Garnett, Kevin Love, Karl Anthony Towns. Hey, okay, Justo, I see you. Justo on his game this morning. I see you. All right, Justo, we see you. That just made my day right there, bro. I ain't even gonna hold you. That made my day right there. Book it. It's guaranteed now. It's guaranteed. Just based off of what Justo's correlation. Justo's correlation. Yeah, man. So the question before Justo dropped the bomb on us, before Justo dropped before Justo went nuclear on us, was did Jalen Brunson know beforehand that if he took less money, we could get Cat? I'm going to say yes. Did Julius Randle know beforehand that if he took less money, we could get Cat? I'm going to say yes. But here's the thing in Julius's defense, though. And Julius Randle's defense. They did ask him to take less money on the first extension so that they can bring in a star, and they brought in Jalen Brunson. Right? The word on the street is if you take less money this time, we'll look out for you next time. Well, the next time came up, and they were like, yo, if you take less money this time, we'll look out for you next time. And everybody doesn't operate like that. For some people, your word is all you have to go by. For some people, your word is all you have. So if you're Randall and they made the promise the first time, they did look out for you the second time, and then the second time come and they like, yo, look out for us this time, and we'll look out for you next time. Some people are like, nah, bro. Nah, NBA players go broke right after retirement. And I need to ensure that I take care of my family, right? My family is the most important thing, right? I want to make sure that this last big contract I get is going to be a super big contract. So I don't blame them. What's more important, a NBA championship or your family security for generations? Like, what's more important, financial security or your legacy? It's a tough thing, man. It's a tough thing, and I'm not saying this is exactly how it played out. right? I'm speculating, right? I'm irresponsibly speculating about details that I don't have. I don't have all the details to. I'm speculating. So I should say allegedly, 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 allegedly. Let me say that. So if Randall chose financial security over the chance of winning a championship, I don't blame him. Salute to Julius Randle and his family, man. If y'all watching, I love y'all. Right? Y'all don't owe me nothing. What Julius Randle provided me over the last 5 years is enough by just seeing him play. By just seeing Julius Randle the last 5 years is enough for me. Him being here the last 5 years is enough for me. Julius Randle don't owe me nothing. A thing. The fact that he resurrected the fact that Randall's point guard was Elfrid Payton. There were years of Randall, Wayne Ellington, Theo Pinson, R.J. Barrett, Alec Burks, Taj Gibson. You wouldn't do your worst enemy like that. You would have more compassion for your enemy than to throw him out there with Marcus Morris and Bobby Portis and Taj Gibson. So Randall, wherever you land, much success to Julius Randle. So if they came to him and said, hey, man, listen, take a pay cut this time. Just come back at 32. And we'll bring in Cat. And it'll be you, Cat, OG, Bridges, Brunson, and we'll piecemeal together a bench. We'll have the best starting five in the NBA, but our bench will look like new addition. Ronnie, Bobby, Ricky, and Mike coming off the bench. But it wouldn't matter because we have the best. We have a top 5 player at every position. But our bench would look like Ronnie, Bobby, Ricky, and Mike. Our bench would look crazy. But we'd have a chance to win a championship. And so that's my question to you. Did Brunson know before time about Cat? I think so. Did Randall know beforehand about Cat? I think so. I think so. And whatever their decisions were, whatever their decision is their decision. Because there's no way that I can be told that in that contract extension window that Julius Randle was not made aware about a potential Karl-Anthony Towns trade. There's no way I could be told that. Like you legit can't tell me that. Like Randall's thinking he's going to come in at 50, and then you're like, nah, man, we want to bring you in at like 35, whatever Brunson's making, a little less than Brunson. Yeah, we'll just bring in just around what Brunson's making, but you'll have a chance to be a multiple-time NBA champion. And if you're Randall, you don't hear championship, you hear chance. Because championships aren't guaranteed. But payday is guaranteed. Payday is guaranteed. And so I have one more thing I'm going to try to squeeze in, right? I got one more thing I'm trying to squeeze in, and then I'm going to put the link in the chat for my people. Can you depend on, and think about this, this is long term. This is long term. Can you depend on a core of, and when I say depend on, I mean injuries, performance, consistency. Can you depend on a core of Karl Anthony Towns, OG Anunoby, Mikal Bridges, and Jalen Brunson over the next 4 years? Can you depend on that? Can you depend on, listen to this core, right? And I'm on the fence. And listen, I'm not perfect, right? For those listening on audio, I'm looking the viewers dead in the eyeballs. So for you guys listening on audio or whatever, just imagine me looking you dead in your face. Can you depend on a core of Karl Anthony Towns, OG Anunoby, Mikal Bridges, and Jalen Brunson? Can you depend on that to win a or multiple championships in this next 4 year window? Because to me, I don't care about the 4 year window. What I care about is this season. In my mind, the Knicks have to win a championship this season. What happens the next 3 years is gravy. What happens in the next 3 seasons is gravy. In my mind, everybody, in my mind, the Knicks have to win a championship this year. But I'm interested in what you guys think. Hey, Ivory 10, I'm about to put the link in the chat, bro. I expect you to be up. I already expect to see you. Coach, hey, Coach, if you listening, man, I'm about to put the link in the chat. Cowboy Bob, man, I expect to see y'all, man. All right, so I just put the link in the chat. I'm interested in seeing what the family is thinking. Right. Interested to seeing what the family think.
Salute, boss.
Hey, Mets, what's good, bro? Oh, you got something rattling. Okay. All right. There you go.
Other than what I'm going to be put through this afternoon with the Mets and the Diamondbacks, watching those games, because at this point, the Braves have already clinched their spot. Know what I mean?
Yeah, the Knicks, though.
Oh. Well, when I heard about the trade, I was like, no. Hey, Ivory. No, just no. I mean, if you watched Still Knicks podcast yesterday morning, you would understand my stance.
What stance is it? Tell us what it is.
I was not a fan of trade. I mean, I understand getting rid of Randall, but Dante and a first round pick as extra leverage, and you get only the cat out of it. You don't even get a second round pick out of it from Minnesota, and you ship Bates Diop to Charlotte, even though we knew he wasn't going to do anything in this system anyhow. I was like, just why? Okay. Is this your big gamble to basically get a stretch five who has sacrificed his paint game for finesse?
Salute, fellas. Salute, Knicks family. Salute to the
Salute
chat.
Ivory, salute Fritz.
Salute, Mets, Uncle Freezy in the chat, and of course, my man Fritz coming on strong. Always love to have Fritz and the human calculator with us. That's always good. I'm not angry or upset or anything. I'm a little confused about the trade. It confuses me a little bit. It just doesn't seem like I don't know what I don't know if we're better as a team. I don't know if we gained flexibility for the future. I mean, Cat's making $50 million. I see Randall probably wanting that same 50 potentially or somewhere close to it. And we had Dante. I don't see how this is I'm going to have to see it play out. Like I said, I'm not angry or disappointed. It is a very strange trade to me. I felt like we were contenders as is. But I think this kind of goes to show you how much this management values control. These guys want to control things. They do not want any situation out of their control. And I actually made a comment last year about how trading Randall this summer might be a priority if they can't come to an agreement on a re-sign, because I just don't think this management wants to ever not have control. That seems to be priority one. We went from being contenders to now we have no clue, just because I think these dudes wanted control. And I see a lot of Knick fandom kind of like, happy, thinking that we're better now. I'm not sure we're a better team. I don't see how we're a better team. Like I said, I got to see it all play out. I don't think any of these dudes are dogs. I mean, who's the dog on the team now? Who is really the dog? Who's going to get in someone's face on that team now?
And that's my point. And that was my point.
They look soft to me.
And that was my point against the trade. Why give up your bully ball player for a guy who sacrifices paint game for perimeter and finesse play?
Don't forget the energy and that passion DiVincenzo brought to the court. I mean, dude played some crazy defense, getting in the passing lanes. He got in people's faces. He took no junk. He played well in the playoffs. He shot better than any player that we've ever seen in a Knicks jersey, ever. So
Good morning, guys.
It just seems weird. Hey, what's up, Cowboy Bob? Salute, brother.
I was just gonna jump in right now, and I'm gonna say I'm okay. I'm not going to sit here and say I miss Randall or anything like that, because I do. I was a big supporter for the last 3 years of Randall, but I feel like I told the aunt last night, I feel this move is to support Brunson more than anything, because at the end of the day, let's be honest, Cat had guys like Jimmy Butler. He's had great players, and he was okay with playing second fiddle, to where now, as opposed to before when you had Randall, it was more of a cold captain type of stuff with Randall and also with Brunson. So for me, I think that they did this move to show Brunson, you're our guy. We're going to build around you. Plus, we got two extra roster spots.
They already made Brunson captain, and Brunson was playing the best basketball of his entire career with Randall. So I don't know if I agree with that take, just because I think Brunson was doing his best he's ever seen himself play.
But you have a center now, as opposed to having that big question mark as far as a center, and you also gain another player who could play two positions. Look at most of the new acquisitions
that we got. Can play two positions.
Yeah,
you're talking about Cat, where he could play the 4 and the 5.
Already have Mitchell Robinson.
Excuse me.
I've been hearing rumors that they're going to ship Mitch out soon.
No, I'm just saying, like right now, as the roster is, you have Cat who could play 4 and 5, because we've seen him play the 4 in Minnesota. We know he's a 5. You have OG who could play small forward, power forward. Bridges can play guard, and he can also play small forward. So a lot of the guys that they have are diverse in multiple positions. Even Josh Hart can play small forward and guard.
Yeah, but that's fine and dandy. But we're talking about like this major trade, right? This major franchise-changing trade, where we're saying, hey, we're going in this direction as opposed to that direction. So, yeah, the flexibility on a team right now is crazy. When you look at it, yeah, sure, we can. If there's any great player at any position, we could fit him on the Knicks. I mean, you name it. Even if he's a good big point guard, we could put him on the Knicks.
What
Play with
was
us.
what
But
was
I
the
don't think that
biggest?
flexibility or that need for flexibility was the motivating force behind such a trade like this. I mean,
The flexibility is because look at how we have in question. We still had a question mark at center. Now that question mark is filled. And if you look at last season, we were dealing with a lot of injuries and guys were playing
but
out of
how is that
position.
question mark
Now,
filled when you get a guy who is outwardly told the world he does not want to play center, and the biggest bangers at the center position are I think in the East. This is a guy who's already said he doesn't want to play center, so I'm not so sure we've checked that off the list necessarily.
Which is why I would have been better with getting someone like a Valanciunas,
the only reason why I think everybody
any
go
of the
ahead,
guys
man.
from Portland, Utah.
Max, you gotta relax. You really gotta relax.
The only reason why, real quick, let me just get this up. The only reason why everyone's upset is because they're constantly saying that Cat is soft, Cat is this, but Cat has shown that he can play well. And to be honest with you, in the East, there's not no big center threats really, except for outside of like let's say Embiid, and there's other few. Giannis is a power forward, so when you look at how he's going to be used, he's going to be used in a pick and roll situation. To me, I'm not saying for anybody else. When I mention what I think Cat's going to bring to the table, is what I see. High pick and roll. He's going to draw out the defense because he can shoot the three. He can also
We know
contribute.
what he can do. We know he's a solid player. We know he's a player. I'm talking about from the Knicks standpoint of making a trade from leaving the conversation of being a serious contender as a franchise that has not been mentioned in that vein in 50 years. We left that conversation. We left. Now we have no idea what this team is. We have no idea, and we have no depth.
Hey,
So
Avery, hold on.
Hey, good morning, Dre. Go ahead.
Yeah, salute to everybody on the panel. I think Avery,
Right.
You probably felt this way when we dumped RJ and Quickly for OG.
No, what I felt like is when we did that trade, we had given up more we had given up more offense, and I thought that if we didn't make another trade, that our offense would be worse.
But look what it did for the franchise.
Yeah.
In terms of galvanizing us, in terms of finding a right fit alongside the stars on the team. Like at this point, you have to give some credit and trust to the front office.
Yo, somebody got to click in it. Mets.
That's Mets.
Yeah.
You got to give some credit and some trust to the front office in terms of them identifying what's the team's needs and what fits. Like I put it this way: anytime that the team needed a specific type of archetype of player, in terms of what we needed going forward, they went out and tried to acquire it. When Brunson established himself as a top 5 offensive player within this league, the organization decided, okay, we need to go full in and full bore in terms of building around this particular skill set because it is a top 5 skill set in this entire league. And what they decided to do, they went out and got the best 3-and-D forward available on the market. They went out and traded for it. Then they turned around and got the second best.
But Jay, we're not really judging them.
That was
we
available.
all give
Hold
the front
on.
office credit for those moves. We're
Hold
talking
on, let
about
me finish.
just this trade.
Ivory,
and
let me
even
finish.
His question is what we're saying.
Ivory, let me finish.
Let him finish.
Yeah, let him finish his thoughts, Sean. Yeah.
They went out and got the best, literally the best 3-point shooting 7-footer ever, to give Brunson this entire amount of space because the man was putting up 40 for 4 straight games in the playoffs against a defense focused on him with negative spacing. Remember, in this time when he was dropping 40s, Julius Randle wasn't even playing. And you're talking about the identity of the team changing, and are we going to be compatible, or are we going to step up? Literally, if you take a step back and view it as we probably replaced Dante with Mikal, and we replaced Randle with Cat. If you just step back and look at it from that point of view, and you trying to tell me that we took a step back, I'm not sure that even makes sense. We were one game away from the conference finals, and Randle wasn't even playing, and we're replacing our number 2 player with Dante. And we know Mikal is better than Dante.
And I was just gonna say real quick, Dre, that let me just get this off. Look at last year. Why did we lose to Indiana? We had great defense, but we didn't have any offense. You had a guy like Cat. That offense also helps out a lot more because at the end of the day, we know Tibbs is a defensive-minded coach. Adding Cat, that's gonna give us the offense that we need. Like Dre just said about him dropping those 40 balls. It's gonna help us out when we need it down in the end of the game. Y'all can go ahead. I'm just
Like
I got more, but I'll let
Salute,
y'all rock.
listen,
I can,
Salute the top of
I
the
think
morning,
all
everybody.
this,
And good
all
morning,
of this is
everybody.
Hey, hold on, man. Don't talk over that, man. Let that man finish. But let me do the super chat just real quick. Justo, thank you for the generous contribution. Justo says we got a modern day big, and we complaining about getting the best shooting big men in NBA history. Every trade so far has only been a plus. We know they aren't done. This offense is unstoppable. That's what Justo says.
Salute, Justo. I agree.
Salute, yep, I gotta agree.
I
I
was
just
gonna
want
I was
to
gonna
say
say like,
I just
oh, go
want to
ahead.
say top of the morning, everybody, and salute to
Salute.
the chat, salute to the panel. I know it's been a
Yep,
minute.
have a
Last
good-
time I was around, Moby Dick was still a sardine, but it's all good. When life be life, and you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah, man.
Just real quick though, since the trade, it's really remarkable, or amazing, or and even funny that you get some folk were complaining we needed more from the five. Somebody can shoot from the five. Then you had those man get Randall the hell up out of town. We don't want Randall, and you still have the Randall haters. And then what is the move they're making? This, and this. Then when they make the move, it's you're never gonna please everybody. All I'm saying is just let it all finish, because again, it's the whole crock pot effect. We still don't know what's going on. What else is going to be moved? Because got rid of cut Mook. What we're going to do at the two guard? We're going to do this. Training camp starts Tuesday, correct?
Yes.
So training camp starts
Media day is
Tuesday,
Monday.
and the season hadn't started. Season ain't over. Still more moves that could be made. So let them finish it out. I can understand not being happy about certain things, but all I say is just like chill. But I gotta agree with Dre. You do make it like I see it on both. I see points, but we're still a contender. We were a contender then, before the trade. We're still a contender now.
but are we? We don't. I don't know if we really
I
know what
agree.
we
I
are.
think
I
we
don't.
have more
How so
defined
when
No
we
goals.
idea.
Yes,
got
we
better?
are.
We have no idea. We made so many changes. The bench is completely different. The starting lineup is completely different. We don't really know what we are. Listen, I
Well,
You
don't think
hold
talking
on.
about the
I hear
we're
what
bench
you're
not
saying.
first?
complaining
Hold on,
about
hold
the
on,
move.
Ivory. Hold
There's
on.
no
Let me tell you real
complaints
quick,
about the
real quick,
move,
real quick.
but there is some disturbance when you go from knowing you're a contender to who knows
I
We
without
But
weren't
understand
going
we're
last
to
a
year
beat
we
contender. That's
wasn't
what I
Boston
don't.
even
I don't
knowing
what are
we
we
before.
were
going
a
to do for our
contender.
future money
Hey,
wise.
Ivory, hold on, Ivory. Let me say this though. Let me interject this. Right, fear of the unknown
Yes.
is not a fear that resonates. Right, like basically what I'm saying is fear of the unknown is not a tangible. Fear of the unknown is a mental thing. Right, assuming that just because you're different means you're not just as good or better is something that we can't assume, right? Well, we should, in this case, what we should say is before we lay down rock solid analysis on something that we haven't seen, maybe we should wait until we see it,
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
analyze it,
of
and
course, but yeah,
I
but
think
after
we're
you see
better
it,
just off hitting
after
because
you
numbers.
see it,
hold on, hold on,
what's
hold
there
on,
to
hold on,
analyze? What's there to
let me finish.
pontificate about after you see it? Because then you know. The point is, what we're doing now is we're asking
So
ourselves,
you're saying
hey,
that you're scared, and I'm telling you that I
what I'm
have a
telling you
12
is we
pick
went from being a
that I can sit
contender
in
after
your house
50
right
years
now
of
with a
shit, after
dog.
50 years of nothing, after 50 years of
We
garbage.
still have
We went
we
from
still
being a
had
contender
questions.
to
We
I
don't
don't
even
know
know
what
what
we
we
are.
are.
Can't
We
do
You're being
Uh,
We
anything
had
with
no
stuff that
idea
you're
how
happened
being
we
before
wasn't
irrational.
Randall
That's
was going to
More
emotions
be.
like
right
it.
there.
before
We
Jalen
You
had
guys
Brunson
no
was
all
even
idea.
know we
alive.
went from being
You're being
correct. You have
irrational.
no idea. You know we did that.
You're
But
being
Gaslight.
last year we
irrational.
was a question mark
Gaslight.
as well.
Ivory,
Last
there
year
was
we
still
were a question
question
mark. We had
marks.
injuries. Wait, hold on real quick. Last year we had injuries. We had question marks throughout the season, and they went through it and actually made it to where they needed to go. Now we're just doing it with a better team
Hold
in
on.
my aspect as far as health and as far as what they're gonna
We would
do
have been a
with the
better team
direction.
if we just came back as the same team.
No,
But you don't
no,
How
you
need
wouldn't
that.
have.
you
Let me
don't
ask
okay,
Everybody
wait,
was
hold on.
missing
No, you
How is
wouldn't
something.
that
have.
your
let me
Hey,
ask
hold
you
on real
hold
quick,
on, yeah,
Ivory.
and listen, hey, y'all, listen.
hold
I'm
on.
gonna have to listen. I'm gonna have to put y'all backstage and have y'all talk one at a time if y'all gonna be talking over each other, bro. Could legit, this sounds like crap coming through my speakers. Let
Yep.
somebody talk and allow them to finish, right? and then the next person can go. If not, then I'm gonna have to do it like a field trip, like one person at a time.
Yeah,
Right?
could I just go? I got work soon, so let me just.
Okay. Okay.
So you talking about how it doesn't make sense? I think it's a way better fit having a center next to Brunson than Julius Randle with Brunson, and we still never knew how Mikal Bridges and Julius Randle was going to play together. Julius
Exactly.
Randle was going to have to move out of his position and play some more of the 5 spot for that to work out.
Why?
So that could, huh?
Why?
I mean, why? We
Why would
have
he have to
OG,
play the 5
we
spot
have
because we got a 2
we have
guard?
Bridges. Randall was gonna have to play some 5 ball.
Randall was going to have to play 5 because we don't have a backup 5. Let's get that straight. Even the coach said that. My only point, felt, listen, this isn't about anger or upset or like I can't believe it, blah, blah. It's more like, listen, the last thing you can do is now say this management doesn't have the balls to make a bold move, right? That I think will be a conversation we'll never have again, right? That's number one. Number two, guys, we were a contender for the first time ever. We were able to say that. And we made a move for a guy who we're now talking about being at center spot because he can shoot. But do you realize OG Anunoby is not a rebounder? Neither is Mikal Bridges. Neither is Cat. These guys
Josh
don't
Hart.
That's false.
rebound. These guys are not
They
That's
are
top.
false.
rebounders.
You don't watch his
They
game. You
are
don't
Hey,
know.
go
rebounders.
ahead,
Cat
T. Go
averages
ahead, TC.
11
TC, go
But
ahead.
hold
rebounds
Go
on.
for
ahead,
his
TC.
career.
Hold on. Go ahead, TC.
All right, as a resident
Hey,
Timberwolves fan,
salute too, bro. Hey man, it's been a
Good morning.
minute,
Good
bro.
morning.
It's good to have you here, bro.
yeah, I know Cat's game. I've been watching him for the past 9 years, and you guys are speaking like someone who's never watched this game because being in Minnesota, you haven't seen it. There
Right.
hasn't been any hype about it. You guys got a damn good player. It was a damn good deal because number one, Julius Randle was a negative asset. He was a
That's
salary
terrible.
dump.
Terrible take.
He
It's a
was a
terrible take.
salary dump.
Terrible
I
take.
mean, the Wolves don't even want him. He's just there to match the salaries. So you already got a positive right there. Number two, Dante didn't like coming off the bench. So he was already a malcontent in the locker room. So you got rid of two nothings, and now you come back with Mikal Bridges and Cat. You guys are a contender. Point blank. Contender.
Appreciate it.
Because I don't think the Sixers, Embiid and Paul George, one of them is gonna get hurt. So knock them out. And then Boston, they got their two guys, Tatum and Brown, but you got OG Anunoby and Mikal Bridges to check them, and then you got Brunson and Cat, and you know Porzingis is gonna be
Cat
hurt.
can't cook
You're
Porzingis.
gonna be Porzingis is gonna be hurt. You guys are a finals team. If if Tibbs can coach good, finals team.
Yeah.
Listen, we hope
That's
so.
Thank
somebody
you.
from the
That's true.
outside. That's not even
But
a
let me
Knicks
just
fan
let me
saying
just
that.
say this.
Exactly.
That's a
You
T
know,
Wolves fan saying that.
one of the biggest problems that the Knicks had last year, and apparently we've all forgotten about it, is someone else who could pull the attention away from Randall while handling the ball. Pull the attention away from Brunson while handling the ball and create for others. Cat is okay at creating for others. He'll get you a few assists a game. He'll pass the ball, but
You
he
didn't watch his game.
Does it
what
consistently?
Randall did as far as attracting the attention that Randall attracted. He's
I,
not
I
he's not the kind of player that Randall was that attracted that attention.
Cat
We
is
don't know
better
his
than
source of talent.
Randall. Cat
I
is
wouldn't
better
say
than
that,
Randall.
bro.
We need somebody who's going to run this offense outside of Brunson, and we
Just gonna hop
not
on.
We
only do
need
we
an
give up the
offense
next
that
guy to
runs
do that, we
smoothly
don't
and
have
doesn't
enough guy to
stop.
do it.
And
I
we need an offense that doesn't halt for
I'm just
somebody.
gonna hop
We need
off
an
real quick,
offense
Breezy.
that runs smoothly.
Yeah, me too.
All right,
I'll be
When
boys.
back.
Randall would have the
All right.
ball, I like Randall, but he would slow the game down. He would slow the game down.
What great player doesn't?
I'm
I,
I was
I
just gonna
just
say no,
go
I
ahead,
was
bro.
just okay. I just don't want to cut anybody off, but I also want to say that you also have to look at what we have grown and what we've changed. It's funny how last year, with all the injuries, everyone was saying this team doesn't look like it is what it is, but they gave them a chance because they worked through it. This year, you're doing it with better players. I'm not saying that Randall isn't better than isn't better than Cat. But to me, what I'm simply trying to say is across the board, we filled a lot more holes with these moves that we have. And now we are a more fluid team that's behind Brunson. There's no question marks. There's nobody left to blame because everybody was blaming Randall about how he's not healthy. He's not able to do this and that. But as
Mm-hmm.
a whole, right now, this team has guys that, like I've been telling you, with the diversity that we have, somebody goes up, it really still is next man mentality. And the next two roster spots we have, you could bring up Tyler Kolek and you could even use it for someone else as well. So that right there, what you talking about passing and everything, we have a bright future ahead of us. We just have to sit and wait and don't just jump and say it's not going to work. But you said it last year. You're okay with what happened last year. It might actually be better. Go ahead, guys.
I
Hey,
don't
I just
know.
want to let me just slide in real quick.
I agree.
Yeah, so finger.
Um, and I hear what you're saying, Ivory, and this is no tackle, just coming back at you, this conversation. But
Absolutely.
and what you were saying, yeah, for the first 20 some odd games, Randall got a chance to play with him or what a good chunk. Because remember, Randall went down. So a lot of this, Randall, you're talking about pull off. We didn't get to see the full effect of that. Then you add in the effect you're saying we're not with moving Randall and Dante, and I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't happy about the Dante thing, but to make omelet, you got to break eggs. Scared money don't make money. That saying goes. But the thing about it is, we don't know what Bridges would do either because he never played with this squad. So basically, it's a whole new team. You've
I think
got
I
you improved in places where you needed to improve,
The
and
only
you have
place
to
we
make the move to
improved
get.
was defensively with Bridges. We
but
only
I
improved
Yeah.
agree.
because he's not going to be a better shooter than what Dante was
Okay,
last
but the same thing was said
Right?
when they gave up
He's going to be the
RJ.
third
Hold
option.
on, real quick. Hold on a minute. The same thing was said when we gave up RJ. I saw so many people complaining about RJ getting traded because that was 22 points and OG only scores 15. The blah blah blah. You got to take into account that's on this team and in his role in different places and different coaches. So the roles and needs and moves are going to change. Also, defense is going with OG's defense caused us to win games because we were able to score more by him shutting down other players or causing jump in the lane. So you have two good defenders that can cause havoc on the other team's deep offense. That gives you the ball back for more opportunity to score, and the floor is going to open up. Don't get me wrong. I like Randall. I didn't see this coming. Again, we don't know what else is coming. But to say we're not going to be a contender, that's kind of a big stretch.
No, what I
I
said
don't
was
That's
Ivory,
know.
real
that's a
quick,
what I
real
said
fact.
quick,
was we
one
have
more
no
thing.
idea. We have no
You said
idea really.
You said rebounding. You said rebounding. We were one of the best rebounding teams when Hart and OG was on the court. When you said, what is OG going to bring as far as rebounding with him and certain different type of matchups that we have now that are more available, we're going to show that we have a lot more to prove. And it's going to be a lot easier for when Brunson, like Dre said, when he's dropping 40, it's actually going to be a win as opposed to him doing
Salute
all
the
of this
big
good
fan
stuff.
Breezy in the building. Salute to my guy. I see
Little
you, boss.
Freezy.
Keep doing
Salute,
your thing, bro.
salute.
Bruh,
But
Brunson
this is the
and
thing that
Brunson and
gets
Cat
lost in
on
all.
pick
This
and
is the thing
pop
that
is
get,
gonna be unguardable. No,
Thank
in
you. And
drop
especially because he's
coverage,
at the
no one's
three.
guarding those guys in a pick and pop.
That's something people have been
Thank
wanting
you.
to see is the pick and
hold
pop
on,
And
too.
hold on,
that's
hold
what I've
on,
been saying.
hold on,
Remember
hold
I
on,
kept
hold
saying
on,
about
hold
Mitchell
on.
Robinson bad with the picks?
Brunson was already
I was gonna say,
unguardable,
I
but
was gonna
now
say
add a
this.
big man like Cat who's popping out for the shot. You have to respect one or the other. It's gonna be barbecue chicken.
Good
Thank you.
point.
And if you look at it too, he's gonna draw out defenders because not only can he shoot the three, but he can also I'm telling you, it's gonna be so much better because if Randall's setting those screens, they're gonna set up for him hitting the mid range. Now with Cat, you could have him in the high post. That center, whoever's guarding him, is gonna force out. That's gonna open up the floor for better rebounding. Go ahead, Dre.
I was gonna say like the thing that gets kind of overblown. Like Ivory, you talking about rebounding? Cat averages 11 boards for his entire career. I hope you realize this. Like he averages
Hey,
11
so
boards.
so wait. So Dre, he averages 12 at center, and that
So
rebounding number dropped when he started playing power forward.
yeah, and I was gonna say to this point, you worry about the rebounding. Who on the Celtics do you worry about rebounding with? You know they're at the top of the league in defensive rebounding, right? Do you think about it's a team thing? Like you do it as a
hmm
group, you do it as a unit. Like
Yes.
who on the Warriors terrified you with rebounding, and then you look up and they're at the top of the league in offensive rebounding and defensive rebounding.
Kevon Looney.
Like it's a team thing. It's not something you should fret about or be worried about. It's something that we will figure out. And historically, we've always been a good rebounding team with Tibbs, no matter who's on the court. Even when we miss Mitch, we still rebound teams.
Yeah, Hart's gonna get like 5 to
We
6
got
rebounds.
Hartenstein on this team, and we made him look like like a white round mound of rebound when he was never that on any other team. It is a team thing. We always, as a team, we prioritize these things. We always end up being a
Mm-hmm.
good rebounding team,
So
regardless of
Dre,
who's on the court.
you like Hart now? Is that what you saying? You starting to like Josh Hart?
Josh Hart is you putting me in a corner right now, and I'm not about to. I'm not
That's a
about to.
joke, but
I'm
we
not about
agree.
to.
We
I'm not
agree for
about to
once.
talk
That's what
bad
I'm
about
saying.
Josh Hart in this
Nah,
room.
he's a utility
But
guy. He's a good utility player.
like the thing, like there's still moves to be made. There's still moves to be had. There's still
I
things to
agree.
pivot. But to look at it from this perspective of we are a contender, why make a move now? That didn't stop the Celtics when they went to a finals and then they immediately got rid of Marcus Smart.
Yeah.
They were viewed as contenders. Why would they make moves to improve?
Hey, let me
What's the point of
so
improving
I
when
want
you're
to
in the
add
finals?
something just real quick. One of the things I think we're dancing around is the fact that you have never seen the best of Karl Anthony Towns, right?
Facts.
Legit, this is the first time in Cat's career where he's going to have consistent great point guard play on a nightly basis, right? This is going to be the first time in Cat's career, the first time in his career where he's going to have balanced offensive scoring and balanced defense on all three levels, right? You've never seen that before from Cat. So to go by what Cat did in previous iterations is gaslighting, right? We can't think about what Cat did in Minnesota. We have to think about what Cat
I'm
does
doing New York.
forward. Can you imagine Karl Anthony Towns when the double team, when teams know you can't double Cat? When you can't double Karl Anthony, the dude was with bad spacing. He was 23 and 12
Yo.
and 38% from three with bad spacing. Imagine Cat with elite spacing, maybe being the third offensive option, second offensive option, right? If you bring the man, listen, Dre, you remember when we talked about Jalen Brunson shooting 47% on spot up threes, but we
Yep,
couldn't create the opportunities for him to get the spot up threes? Remember that conversation?
yep.
Now you have Jalen Brunson and Cat both in opportunities where they can legit thrive in an environment that's built for both of them to thrive and punish defenses.
And they
Right.
Mm-hmm.
count
And,
too.
to the other point, one of the points that I want to make too about when people talk about Cat as being a ball hog and holding the ball, every great scorer you've ever seen in your life holds the ball and is a ball hog. I don't care who it is. Michael Jordan was not a movement scorer where guys would diamond him up. Jordan created shots. Dominique Wilkins created
Breezy
his
froze.
I don't even think Cat's a ball hog.
Carmelo Anthony created his LeBron James creates shots. So the conversation about
And I think
the conversation
go
about
ahead.
guys holding the ball is a weak media driven narrative when they want to defame somebody. When we gotta,
Yeah.
as in as basketball analysts and as YouTubers, all of y'all are YouTubers. Everybody on the screen that jumps on, y'all have to consider yourselves YouTubers and experts. You got to know when the media puts out a narrative
Mm-hmm.
out there to defame a certain player. Every scorer is gonna hold the ball. That's what they do. Luka might be the best player in the NBA right now. Guess what he does with the basketball?
Shit,
He
he
holds.
He
hauls that
holds it.
joker and he
And
ejects
same
that
thing.
Cat
joker.
doesn't really
Same
hold the
thing with
ball
Shea.
that long. He's pretty a decisive player. Like he'll make quick. Like he has good IQ. He's not someone that's like if he has the ball, he knows what he's gonna do with it. Like
And also, here's another thing with the pick and rolls. How many lobs you think that Cat's gonna catch off of freaking Brunson cutting to the lane? Like that
None.
also opens up
None.
another option
None.
as
If he
far as
can't throw any
offense.
to Mitch, why is he going to throw any to Cat? Here's the point, fellas. Offense
Cause
was
Cat,
not a
wow,
problem last year. Offense was not a problem. Okay. Why we're talking about what we're going to do on offense, it's great. We're going to be amazing on offense. We all know that. We lost the identity of our team. We lost the toughness of our team.
why did we lose to Indiana?
Randall was the toughness.
Why
Randall
did we
Right,
was
we
the
lose
didn't
to
lose
toughness.
any
Indiana?
toughness.
Randall
Randall
was
was the
the
I'm
toughness.
confused
He
on
still
that one.
had question marks on his toughness, bro.
Ivory,
We're
why did
not
we
gonna
lose to
Randall
lie.
had question
Indianapolis?
marks, but Cat is okay. His toughness is
No, no,
Well,
good.
he
no, no,
had
no.
question marks
All
for
right.
Cat too, but he's a higher ceiling player.
Listen,
Can I
that's
ask you,
If it
considered
works
Ivory,
wrong.
why
out
did
for
we lose
him,
to
it's a
Indiana?
better fit.
None of these guys can. None of these guys attract the attention. Cat does not attract the attention that Randall does. Cat is obviously a
That's
better
false.
offensive player,
That's
but
false.
he does
True.
not
That's
attract the
false.
same
That
attention
isn't
that
true
Randall
at
does.
all.
That's
I'm
not
And he
gonna
does
false.
not
disagree with you on
run
that
the
one, big dog.
offense. He cannot get guys other shots like
That's not
Randall
true.
does.
Yo,
That's a
he's the
fact.
Ivory, you
second best
wildin', bro.
player
Look at
on
the
a
assists.
Western
8
Conference
Number
assists.
Finals
one,
team
hold
last
on,
year.
Cat.
Ivory, I just got a question to ask you. Why did we lose to Indiana last year? It was because of our offense wasn't there. It was our defense was showing up, but
It's
then when they
because
were
our
running it,
players weren't there.
Yeah,
Period.
Okay, and then we didn't have players for one,
We didn't have the
and then
players there. That's not it
and we
all.
got
and
a
we
lot
still
of
took them to 7 games, bro. With
7 games. Yeah,
all those guys, we still took them to 7 games.
Randall
and
is
that's
a very important piece to running this offense. I'm telling you, we saw Brunson struggle because there was no one else to give the ball to
So
and bring up the ball.
my question is, how is it going to work in your mind with Bridges, OG, and Randall on the
Bridges
court?
is going
How
to
is it
sit in
all
the
going to
corner
work?
just like Dante DiVincenzo did.
Nah, he
Bridges
no,
not
no,
sitting on the
that's
corner.
false.
Come on,
That's
see
false.
that's not
every
Bridges.
time you get a new set of
Why
players,
why
the
do we
game
make
Never,
that move
changes.
for him
dude
to
has
sit in the
All
corner?
those drives to the hole that we saw DiVincenzo missing on, that's
nah,
where Bridges would convert. Okay, the point is that he would be doing the same thing. Why do we think a guy who's a spot-up shooter is not going to fit with Randall? It's ridiculous.
a spot-up shooter. What are you talking about?
That's
Who's a
what
spot-up
Bridges
shooter?
is. He's a spot-up shooter.
What,
Bridges is
bro? No, he's
not
not.
Bridges,
He can
no,
put the
bro.
ball on the
Insane.
floor a little bit, but we've
He's
all
not a
seen
spot-up
he's not a one-on-one scorer.
No,
That's
he
why he's
only
the number 3 a guy on a championship contender.
so you're thinking about Phoenix Suns, Mikal Bridges. You're not thinking
I
about
was a
Brooklyn Nets,
spot-up
Mikal
shooter,
Bridges.
number 3 guy.
What I'm telling you right now is that Mikal Bridges is a 10 times better spot-up shooter than he is a guy who will take you off the dribble. 10 times better.
You're thinking about the Phoenix Suns, Mikal Bridges, who had Chris Paul and Devin Booker and DeAndre.
Yeah, when he was playing his best basketball. Yes.
Right. But possibly. But the thing about it is the reason why you get Mikal Bridges in the first place is not for just to spot him up. You get him for the 45 cuts. That's the reason why Cat is here, and the reason why you get Cat to go with Jalen Brunson, because you have to have somebody threaten the middle of your defense. You have to have it, or you can't be all 3 or all at the rim. You have to put the defense in jeopardy, and by saying putting a guy in sitting him in quicksand in one spot where the defense knows where he is the best for our offense. That's ridiculous. That's a ridiculous.
I tell you what's ridiculous is thinking that Randall can't play with Bridges. Their games won't go. If Randall can play with
It could
RJ Barrett
possibly work,
and be an all-pro, he can play with anybody. I'm going to tell you, especially a spot shooter.
With Cat, it's a better fit on paper. With Cat, it's a better fit.
I don't know if I agree or not. I still need to be.
We got to see that, fellas. All I'm saying is we got to see it. Just because a guy can shoot doesn't mean he's better. Randall is a guy who runs the offense better. And gets a lot of double team.
Ivory. Like, you can say this team had an identity. If the Boston Celtics were to change their mascot, they probably would change it to Marcus Smart. And you know what they did? They shipped that man off the team in order to make the team better or have a more cohesive fit.
Marcus Smart wasn't the top 2 player on that team, though.
But Ivory, so here's my question to you. Changing it, what has that team with that identity? What has that team won? The one that you love so much, that identity. What has that team won?
Well, last year they went to a 7th game of the Eastern Conference, semifinals without 3 or 4 of their 5 starters. That's what they did.
Every year doesn't
you get a trophy for that.
No, what you get is a solid foundation for knowing where you are as a team.
In the chase for a trophy, the trophy is a moving target, bro. If it was stagnant, 30 NBA teams would have an NBA championship right now, bro. 30 of them.
We made
the NBA
serious
championship is
changes.
a moving target. The game changes from year to year, and you have to evolve with the game, right? Any team that is going out with a 6'10" power forward and a 6'9" small forward and 2 6'4" guards in the backcourt and throw the ball in a low post every possession, they don't win no more, bro, because the game has changed. Even the offense is being phased out right now as we know it. Teams are running perpetual motion offenses where guys you don't even start small forwards anymore. You just start 3 wing players because of the perpetual motion offense. That's where we're headed. And if you think the classic style of play is gonna come back to gonna bring bring a championship back. That's not how it works. You have to constantly evolve, and that's why Dre said
Let's
the Celtics traded Marcus Smart because they had to evolve.
let me just
And
tell
once
you,
they evolved, they won the championship.
this conversation is going to change big time with one injury, big time. The way
That's anything though, and that's
that's not true.
anything in the
The
game
way the
though.
team was
That's anything in the
constructed
game when it comes
before,
to an injury.
one in, hold on. The way the team was constructed 24 hours ago, that wasn't the case.
We still have moves to make, so
We
let's
even wait,
not
hold on.
jump the gun.
We've changed the team within the from last season by adding Bridges, and we also changed the team differently. So you can't even say that even if we didn't make this trade in 24 hours, the additions that we've made for the current roster for this season is still different than it was last season before this trade. So for you to sit
It's
there
not
and
about
be wait,
different
hold on. If you're okay with that, with adding Bridges and saying that, then why can't you say the same thing for Cat?
because we got rid of. It's not about saying Cat's a bad player or Cat won't fit or any of these other things, other than the fact that we just don't know. We know what we had in Randall. We know what we had in DiVincenzo. We had two championship contending type players, and they were fitting, and they would fit, and we all know they did fit. We saw them how they played together. We saw their success together. We gave up being a championship contender as a New York Knicks organization. We gave that up for a question mark. Listen, I'm not saying it was a
What
bad move,
I'm kind
whatever.
of confused
I'm
because
saying
I'm still
is,
trying to follow you. I'm
what?
serious. I'm
Ivory,
not.
all I'm saying, Ivory, is last season. The only reason why you're saying that is because it's over with and they've proven it. Why are you not giving this same Knicks team, yes, with different people,
Who
that
said I'm
same
not going to give him a
opportunity as
chance?
they
I don't
did
have a
last
choice
year?
but to give him a chance. I don't have a choice but that. But we can discuss this recent move by saying, hey, this was really a surprising move for
I
A, B,
agree.
and C reasons. No one is saying it was a terrible move or that it
I
won't
agree with
work.
that one. I agree with your
Yeah.
statement on that. I definitely do on that one. Nobody knows. That's what I'm saying is
Exactly.
just let it. I'm saying, look, there's still more moves to be made, and the season
Exactly.
that even tipped off. So, you could look at it like because it came supposedly out of left field, but there are reports that they've been working on this all summer. With all these rumors, and I don't listen to the rumors until something actually comes down. I mean, did I see this coming? I've said before in the past that there's going to be a move, there's going to be a player that you need to think of that's going to be coming into New York. And boom, they did it to us again. I didn't
Well,
see OG coming. I was like, ain't no way you're going to get OG because of the lawsuit.
the way they handled that Hartenstein situation tells you that they were thinking about this, right? Because when we
Well,
were
I mean, the thing is, on the Hartenstein, though, they couldn't give him more money, correct? If we can only
Exactly.
right,
give him X amount of money, they had the money to give him. That man looked at it and said, you know what?
I'm not
That's
gonna give him
about 10
29
more, 10
million.
mil more than what I'm gonna get. I gotta take care of me
Exactly.
and mine. He chucked the deuce, peace be with you, and keep it
But I'm
pushing.
saying that
Anybody gonna do that for the
the fact that they
situation?
knew they weren't going to get Hartenstein and they didn't really do anything about it tells me that they had this on their mind. Like we all
What
They
thought,
could they
how
yeah,
could
have
they
they let this
done?
they
happen
couldn't
without
do
having
anything else. That's
a
what I'm
backup?
saying. They couldn't do anything because of the way the agreement is. Correct me if I'm wrong, Dre.
No, not
Yeah.
necessarily do anything about signing
Say,
iHeart,
say it
but do
again.
anything about having a backup option. You know how we
Oh, the
were all
backup
saying,
option
"Hey,
was yeah.
why didn't they prepare for this? Why didn't they prepare?" And I'm saying I don't think they prepared for not signing Hartenstein because of this thought about potentially about what was going on with Cat.
But even still, Cat being here, that voids the question of what you said with a backup, because now we don't have to sit there and actually thread about, hey, we need a center that's going to be there 100%, because when Mitchell comes back, if he is the
Exactly.
backup, that's good. Plus, here's the next thing. You still have Sims. You still have Hakaporti. You have more options now. That's why I keep telling you the versatility that they've added since last season and including this season isn't just about, hey, these guys are going to go ahead and do this and do that. They have to stick to this certain criteria. No, they're going to have multiple different things to do, and they got to work as a flowing offense and a
Now,
flowing defense. That's the
now,
change. And yes, the idea may have changed, but it worked last year when we were down with injured players. Everybody was okay with how
mhm.
we were productive. Now, if we put in guys that are actually going to show up and do it, it's even better. We got to give it a
I
chance. That's
think
my whole point.
I
I would
think
Go
be
the
ahead, Frank.
first
concerned with
time
the backup center situation
No,
now, still
I
because
think
I
the
think the I
backup's
think
still
hold
gonna be
on,
a
hold on.
Yeah,
situation.
Mitch is
I
going
think we're
to
still gonna
presume
get
that.
backup center
The
somewhere.
first
Right now
time
because
you
we don't know
see
when
the
Mitch
first
coming
time
back.
you see Josh Hart grab a rebound, push it, and then go in transition and go horizontal, and then pitch it back to Cat for a trail three, you'll understand why we brought him in here.
Yeah.
You'll
Yeah.
understand how simplified the offense will be when we brought him in here. You understand how everything won't be so difficult. You'll understand we won't see nearly as many double teams. You understand you'll probably see the one maybe the best or one of the best isolation players be forced to be guarded one on one, and
Yep.
teams just
Also,
have to live with it.
you think about the fact that you can have him on the floor in the fourth quarter when they're trying to hack. He can hit free throws, little things like that. You know.
And
Like
his efficiency is going to
Yeah,
be even better
and it's
because
probably our best free throw shooter right now. Carl Anthony Towns will be our
Yep.
best free throw shooter.
you stole what I was going to say. I was going to say it opens up for Brunson to be more focused. He doesn't have to do as much, but he'll still be effective. And Carl Anthony Towns will get to the free throw line, and we know he's going to be much better than Mitchell Robinson, and it's going to slow down the game and play into our favor. So when you look at it, I love Randall, and I wish he was here. But the
Yeah.
move, I'm okay with it because it shows great promise, and we still are a championship contending team.
I
Go ahead.
just, the thing is, I hate to see, I like Rondo, and what cuts the most, but like I said, that contract of his matches up. They haven't fall out with
So,
they're at
Finger,
a
are you saying the
standstill.
first cut is the deepest? The
What?
first cut is the
Ah,
deepest. Is
man,
that what you're saying? That's what I've been hearing.
there you
Yeah.
go.
I think the other
But
thing that gets lost in this is that they kind of already decided what the
mhm.
core is going to be because Cat is locked in for 4 years.
Yeah, yeah.
OG is
And
locked
I,
in for four
Yeah,
years.
and I'll throw
McCall
this
is
out here real quick, Dre.
A strong bet to be an extension. We already
Uh,
know Brunson got his extension. They picked a decision. They identified that Brunson may be a top five offensive player. We're going to
mhm.
lean extremely heavily into
Hard.
that,
Mhm.
and we're going to acquire the best two-way wings we can acquire. We're going to acquire the best shooting big we can acquire, and then we're going to build around that for the next 3 to 4 years
Well,
and
and
give ourselves
those.
as many cracks to go
Yep.
deep into the playoffs. And yes, this year we're trying to win a championship, but we're going to try to win one next year. We're going to try to win one the year
yeah.
after
After
that with
that,
this core.
exactly.
But you
Champion.
have to look at it. This
Yep.
is the most active
Two
the
out of
front
three.
office has been. If you look at it, this is the most active you ever seen the front office been and make positive moves in a lot of times. Now, I'm gonna tell you the other thing that hurts is the fact that, let's be honest, Dante became a fan favorite. He's a fan favorite. He came out there and he showed it. And he showed that grit and grind that everybody liked. He came out there and handled his business. So, and you have that talk about the bench this, the bench that. Again, like I said, I'm just stay patient on it. I wasn't gonna pop on the show, but I was like, I'm gonna get over here for a minute before I get to making moves. But it's 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 an exciting time to be a Knicks fan. I will say that. This is a
Hey,
very
so I
exciting
was going
time
to
to
say
be a Knicks
this.
fan.
So I was going to say this. If we didn't move Dante at this moment, his value would plummet because number one, he'd be the seventh man. So
Exactly.
his 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 value just intrinsically off of the numbers of the stat sheet. If you were to
Yeah.
bring him into a trade, organization would be like, he's not putting up the same numbers he was putting up X, Y. He wasn't putting up these numbers before, but you know why he wasn't doing it. But in
Yeah.
terms of leverage, he's at his highest value
Highest
point.
value now,
You
so you
wouldn't be
move
able
them.
to you wouldn't be able to acquire a cat type talent
Hmm.
using him and
And
going forward after this
I'm,
point. You wouldn't be able to use Randall to flip him to any type of all
no.
NBA caliber talent.
Well, the other
The
thing too
further you
is,
went along into the season.
my thing is before it's two things to shoot out. Before, remember the whole thing about Embiid, oh, we're gonna trade Randall for Embiid. We're gonna trade. You got a lot of cats ready to do that because they wanted Embiid, but you got people who don't like Cat. I like I said, this is no bash on anybody. What I'm saying, but they made the move, and it's a business. It's a business. And Freezy said this along. I think it was you, Freezy. Was it Freezy? You said this when they traded Patrick Ewing. How you felt, or was it wrong? No, but anyway, when Patrick Ewing got traded and how people felt about that, you don't give up this, you don't give up that. That's when you realize this is business. You roll with the player while you got him. Now, the other thing we talking about, we losing shooting, we losing shooting. I would say a name that we got on the team that people kind of gloss over, that people don't think about. May not like him for whatever reason because he's been moved around a lot. But Landry Shamet, he can shoot the rock too. So in a situation where you may need the 3-point shooting, you can put him in because he's a high 3-point shooter. So we don't know. The team hasn't even come. This team hasn't formed yet. They're still making moves. There are going to be other moves because I'm waiting to hear. Well, we need another power forward. Who's going to put? We're going to put OG at power forward. You still got Precious. He's a power forward.
Thank
Well,
you.
no, you need him to play center. We got Sims. Well, we got Sims. Now the
Thank you.
question to me is, Hakaporti and Sims. Sims will be better coming off the bench. We don't know about Hakaporti because he's young. Then you got Tyler Coley. Or Tyler, let's open up to Tyler Coley. You got to realize who your coach is. Tibbs doesn't just throw rookies out there like that. What he did before, well, that's because we had a team. We were in the building process with more young rookies. Oh, he only like veterans. This. When you say the word veteran, you think of an old player. These are players in their mid to early, slightly late 20s. They're still young. The oldest person on the team has just not been traded out. The older in the 30s has been traded out, and that was, the release that was Morris. So I say all of this to say that shout out to our man Sarge. Just let it play out. Just be patient. Just try to, everybody be patient. Crock pot, man. Crock pot. Now, these other things will be addressed. You're not going to be able to address everything, but I guarantee you that front office is going to be plugging bigger holes than we're looking at. And this is coming from a cat that had issues with the front office. And all I say is now, I take this medication. And some folk may want to take it, man. Just take it. It's called shut the hell up. Take the medication and just let it marinate. Because sometimes we get to talking off the emotions. Just be cool about it, man. Chill. Like EPMD, you got to chill. Yeah.
Because sometimes you taking a step back and actually, like, one thing is when you're irate and angry, when you're supposed to be angry, if you take a step back and breathe, you'll see that there's so much positivity. Yeah, it's a player that we all liked, but it's funny how all year everyone kept saying, we don't want Randall. Now that he's gone, he's a fan favorite. How does that work? At the same time, what we're going to be doing, our game has to change because we were losing. And I kept saying the reason why we lost to Indiana is because we couldn't match their pace of offense with our defense.
Mm-hmm.
Now that we have that to where Cat can shoot the free throw, he slows down the game. And you also look at what we're going to be able to.
Did you watch that series?
Yes, I did. I watched it with you.
So you saw the fact that Indiana was basically at full strength and the Knicks wasn't.
Yep.
And the takeaway
we played with our third string.
The takeaway from that is offense.
No, it's not that. It's because at the end of the day, I understand that injuries are going to happen, and I can't account for that. But what was given was we were losing in offense because they're fast paced. We couldn't slow down the defense. But with Cat, like I said, going to the free throw line and everyone else having a chance to actually be more of a fluid offense and a better defense, because OG and them, they're going to change it up for me. Go ahead.
Hey, I'll say this. In the game that we should have went up 3-0, our offense died.
Yep.
It died coming down the stretch because it was just all Brunson and nothing else. We weren't getting no production from literally anyone else.
Well, you know why it was all Brunson, right?
Because Brunson decided to not pass the rock to them.
Brunson decided to put the team on his back and not pass the ball. We all watched that game together on playback TV. We saw Brunson. It's where the term dribble come from. That game. That game is Brunson dribble.
No, dribble. Way before that game.
Nah, well, it may have been.
So you saying instead of him being the diddler, he's the dribbler?
Yeah, the dribbler. That's him.
Is that a 45?
And I'm saying though, Freezy, in that point, if we had a threat from the center in that position, a lot of those dribbles would turn into layups instead of contested mid-range jumpers.
Yeah.
Well,
a lot of that dribble stuff would be easier looks, period, instead of him taking step back contested jumpers. Like if he's gonna be a Chuck,
that man was taking contested jumpers. Dre, that man was taking contested jumpers over 2, 6, 7 dudes.
Yeah. And see, you see the importance. That game that showed you. I mean, that does show you how important Randall was and is at the time with the way it's constructed. I get that. I get the anger for some folks. Trust me, I do. But all I'm saying is, and just not to cut you off, Dre, just to get back out of the way.
Yeah, go ahead, bro.
Just let her. Let's let it come together, man. We don't even know. Because his names and everything, and people don't deal. Let's be honest. A lot of people can't deal with change. Some people have adjustment disorder. That's what a lot of this is.
Right. And separation anxiety.
And separation anxiety. Yes.
Yeah.
And let's be honest. Can I just act? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. Go ahead, dog. I was getting out of the way.
I just want to ask, like, let's be real. As great as Randall was with us, and I loved everything that he's done for us, I think it was a bad situation he was in because, yes, he did bring us up and he did change us to a better team to where now we have value. But at the same time, he himself isn't going to get the reward for that. So, like in most relationships, sometimes you guys parting ways will be the best thing. Yeah, it sucks that y'all are not together anymore, but it's a good thing for Randall because now Randall can go to Minnesota, ball out. He got Nas Reed behind him as the sixth man of the year. He got a lot of things he can do over there and make himself even more marketable.
Mm-hmm.
And we could say thank you because without him doing what he did, we would have never been able to get Dante and the team plays that we have now to go ahead and trade. So in the long run, sometimes separating from someone, y'all are okay with separating from Hartenstein. I heard all the hate. Oh, we need Hartenstein because we need a center. Now you guys got a center. It's not who you want, but in the end, you don't know if it's going to actually be a good relationship. Why are you killing it before it even has a chance to grow? Sound like a Bob Marley song. Kill it before it grow. Why are you doing that? Now I'm being
That's a
real.
good
Like
point. No, that's a good point. I like
this is
that.
why I'm telling us. Like this is why I say a lot of us. I was like that. I had anxiety to where I was like, yo, we don't need to get rid of Randall. Y'all heard me for 2, 3 years talk about how great Randall is to this team, and now you
Uh-uh.
hear me saying I'm okay with it because the league has changed. Look at the value of Porzingis to Boston. He didn't even play the entire season, but when he was on the court, he got double doubles. He brought that offense. Now we got a guy in Cat that's similar. Plus, when we go up against Giannis, who do you think is gonna be Giannis matching up with? Who do you think these guys? Now we got a guy who's gonna be matching them offensively to where we can actually keep our pace in our defense and our offense. So you guys got to look at the bigger picture. And even with Embiid, Mitchell Robinson can come out and hold down Embiid. Now they got a serious problem. Who they gonna check? You
I got a
you can't
question
have
though. I
you
got a
can't
question
have
for
you
everybody
can't
though.
have Paul George checking Cat. You can't
Hmm.
have Paul George checking OG. You see what I'm saying? Now we got a
Yeah.
secret weapon here. Let's see what happens because
Well,
I feel like just those
and this
Hey,
seconds.
just real
assertion.
real
Just
quick
So
though.
those
Has
salute. I
anybody
like
checked
what
on
you said.
smoke? Has anybody checked on smoke?
oh, TSK.
Oof. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't think he. I I
He
don't know. But
might
Dre,
not.
go ahead,
He
man.
might not be around for a little minute, man. That's rough. But I was gonna
It's
say, what? Who's? Why are we making this assertion that OG won't get better, that McCall won't get better, that Brunson won't get better, that
what we're
Cat
saying
isn't
there.
put in a position to
Yeah,
succeed even better? Like,
even
why are we
Precious,
making all these
because
assertions
yeah.
based on a past unit, a past team?
Hmm. Well, even Precious. Who's to say Precious won't work on that jumper? Precious come back with a better jumper. You know, the whole everybody that's remaining that we had from last year that's still there playing. Who said they're not getting better? You know, let's just where we got to look at it. Um, like I said, I'm excited to see what's going to happen. I'm more excited to see about the next move. I'm also excited to see about the next move since they're taking calls on Mitch. That's crazy. Knowing Mitch is still injured or whatever, whatever, you could possibly move Mitch. Then you're gonna have the ones that wanted Mitch up out of here. They'll be happy, but it depends. They will be happy, but then they won't be happy because it depends on what we get back. You know?
Look,
I
Yep.
just think it. I think people are mad because Randall was our fall guy, and we blame not me, but most Knicks
Yeah,
fans blamed him for all the negative things going. Now that he's not there, and we don't even have question marks. Like you can't say,
it'll
"Oh,
be
Six
Cat.
is the next person to blame." No, we
It'll
already
be
know
Cat
what
that's
we
next one
have,
to
and
blame.
there's nobody there to blame now. Now we just got to go out and show.
Mm-mm.
So
I,
I think that them
mm-mm.
not having a reason to be like, "Hey, it's Randall's fault," or he's not on the court, he's not healthy. Now they don't have that anymore. It's like,
You right about that, Bob. I'll just
what are
say
we
this:
gonna
it's
look
gonna
for?
be Cat gonna be the new fall guy because some people saying because he's too soft, he's this, he's that. Because the thing is when you go to the game, they didn't put jalapenos on my nachos. It's Randall's fault,
But they
man.
said the
They
same thing
ran out.
about KP.
Man,
They,
look, hey, look, the
the,
the the ice cream machine's not working in McDonald's. It's Randall's fault. Everything was Randall's fault. You know what I'm saying? You know, man, my receiver got in my fantasy league. Man, he out the game, man. Randall's fault. It was Randall's fault for everything, like you said. He was the fall guy when, in fact, that man did a lot for the organization and the team. And I give the big fella his props. You know, wish him good luck on his new endeavors. You know, but hey, he's no longer a Nick. That's the way I look at it. Hey, he ain't in the blue and orange, so I'm worried. I care. I'm looking at who's here. So it is what it is.
I think the organization is taking this approach that the organization is taking this approach that the whole is greater than the sum of the parts, and they're
Yep.
trying to match pieces that fit together, ideally to maximize what each skill set can do at its best. And for what it's worth, I think I think Randall probably fit here at a great level.
Hmm.
But if we're talking about cohesiveness, if we're just talking about skill sets, what guys can do and what they can't do, Cat fits better alongside Brunson in terms of maximizing what Brunson does at a high level.
And
Facts.
can I also say this too? I know I bring up Brando always being the support for Brunson when they were playing against the Bucks last year. I brought that point up. But if you look at it, I remember hearing Kobe saying it when Shaq used to throw elbows at him and knock him on the floor. Everyone would be like, "Yo, you okay?" He would sit there and say, "I don't need baby, and I got this. He's just making me tougher." Maybe that's the same mentality Brunson's going through, and we don't know. So why I'm not knocking Randall, but the whole co-captain thing maybe was actually causing Brunson to not show his full potential that he's going to show this year. That's a big that's a big thing because now you think my cat, you're gonna give me what I need to be supportive. Now you're looking like, hey, you guys believe in me? I'm gonna show you something. I think I've been saying it. I think Brunson got like one or two more things still in his bag. I think it's gonna be the efficiency, and I think that his assists are gonna go up because him with Cat after the pick and roll lobs, yeah, it'll be a lot easier with Cat than it would be with Mitchell Stone hands. It'll be a lot easier with Cat because Cat's gonna be looking for him. Cat's gonna be looking for that ball. And he's gonna be looking to produce. And Cat's not one
Hey, Bob dropped in and out. Bob, you might need to close your app and come right back.
it's like saying, hey, I no longer bank with this bank because this bank merged with another bank. I never liked the other bank, but they're giving me more high percentage interest rate that I need in my savings account. Am I gonna be upset? At first I would be, but not now.
Yeah, you,
Yo,
Down the road
Bob,
it's
you
gonna
gotta
work out.
hey,
You
hey,
stop
just
hey,
out
gotta
and
Bob,
sit
jump
back
back
now.
in.
Go ahead.
Bob, you lagging. You gotta close your app and come right back.
Saying is like if you look at the mentality of Brun, I think that
Oh my
Brun is
god.
that guy that's gonna be like, I don't need baby, I need full confidence that you guys are gonna back me. And then moving Randall is showing it because Cat, like I said, he Jimmy Butler, and he's that dude that he's gonna get the support he needs because now everybody that's on this team is here to make Brunson better. And if Brunson's the captain, like Ivory 10 said, and we all know he is, that's what we need to do. And this is the first time I've seen us do this. I want to see it work because the last 50 years, what we've been doing has not been working. And this direction is new and it's fitting new to the new system of the league. We got something, man. Go ahead, Dre. I'm sorry.
We got the highest paid analytics department in the entire league. I hope you realize that. The reason why OG and McCall are here is because of that analytics department. And the reason we went full bore with building around Brunson is that he established himself as a top 10 NBA player. So like you have to trust the front office at this point in terms of how they're gonna try team building. And these moves, if you just look at it on its face and you just look at what these players can do, their skill sets and their abilities, it all makes sense and it adds up. And I think we're moving away from this identity of being this completely hard nosed, tough team that has to scratch and claw. We're going to have a lot of pretty victories. Like, we're going to coast to a lot of victories. It's not going to be a slog. It's not going to be a grind. You're not going to struggle through this 82 game season, barring injury. Like, you have to have an open mind. And, like, I understand where Ivory is coming with, like, we have an identity and we have to stick to this. But everything everything that wins at the highest level is not tied to that particular identity. And the way the league is moving, we've been complaining about not getting production out of a center or out of a big for how many years, and we turn around and get the best shooting big in the entire league, and then we're going to turn around and complain about it. The best shooting big in the entire league that also happens to average anywhere between 1.3 blocks and 1.7 blocks when he's the actual center, that happens to average 12 boards when he's the actual center. I I can't turn around and poo poo on that. When you're looking around the league and you're seeing organizations like the Celtics turn around and try to get the most optimal spacing around their tandem or their wing players to make them better. Those guys have never seen so much one-on-one coverage until they got Chris Stapps. And you're telling me that it's not going to be a benefit to have Cat on this team? Y'all crazy. We get
Thank
to the
you,
playoff.
Dre.
We get to the playoffs. even like the 82 game season and the playoffs are two different things. Winning 16 games, winning 16 games is completely different, and how you're guarded in the postseason is completely different. We would win a lot of games in the regular season under Randall, but when we come to the playoffs, it'll be it'll be one of those things where they'll try to deal they'll try to deal with they'll take the lesser of two evils. And you know what they would do when we get to the playoffs in any lineup with Randall and Josh Hart? They would cheat off of those two and make Brunson McKell's life more difficult. And OG is not the creator that you think he is in that type of situation. So when you talk about defending these guys at the highest level and winning the championship, you have to view it from this point of view is you have to make yourself as unguardable as possible in order to
Like
win.
like a Swiss Army knife. I've been saying it.
You
Attack him in different type of barrages and punches.
you,
This is
you
a
have
good
to be
plan.
as adaptable as possible. And
Dre,
when
this is the
you
first time we agree.
once you stick yourself to a particular identity that isn't as flexible, it can win you a ton of regular season games. Tibbs has shown you with with having rigidity, he'll win you a ton of regular season games, but you need an overwhelming amount of offensive talent that can manage itself and make adjustments on the fly itself. And with that, hey man, you I think we've created the makings or the skeleton of a juggernaut offense. And Tibbs will know how to build a defense no matter who's out there on the court.
Yep.
That
Thank
man,
you.
that man had us playing elite defense with Jericho Sims on the court, man. I'm
Thank
cool.
you.
I'm cool, man.
Thank you,
And
Dre. This is the first time we agree. I appreciate that, man. I
and,
appreciate that.
and Cowboy Bob, I don't know if you can, but you drop the link in the chat? If not, I'll probably drop it off of YouTube.
Nah, drop it because I can't.
Let me see you. Hey, Freezy, if you there, drop the link in the chat. Someone has to bring people on here because I'm not on the computer right now. So
But Dre, though, this is the first time me and you agreeing about the Knicks, so this must be a good thing because we both differ from two different sides. I like the old school mentality. You were more analytics, and me and you are coming to an agreement that this makes the team better. Yeah, it's the personnel we may not agree with, but it's the right move in the direction because now Tibbs is with his extension. He's gonna have the defense that we need. Plus, with the offense, it's going to be that much easier for Brunson to be effective, and it's going to be that much harder for teams to stop because when Cat gets hot, you know Brunson's going to leak off and start hitting those spot up threes. You know that if they try to stop Brunson, Cat's going to be looking for the lob, and he's going to be attacking the paint more because in the Eastern Conference Finals, as opposed to the West, it's not as deep. In the West, he had way more competition at his position than he would in the East. That's another thing nobody's putting into account. There's only like four, maybe five guys that can slow down Cat in the East as opposed to the West. And they would throw different type of team, like they'll throw different type of setups to stop him in the West if they didn't. But here in the East, you do that, Brunson's gonna eat. OG is gonna be right off the dribble because we know he's a downhill player. So the assets of that we added are gonna still be there. But with Cat, you get the rebounding that we were getting from um what's his name? From Hartenstein. You still get that rebounding presence. You're still gonna get the 20 points plus games that you were getting from Randall as far as points. You're also gonna get a more open floor spacing, and it's gonna make our point guard actually not even have to dribble. His head will be up more like, oh, I'm just gonna eat. No, because look at it. Let's be real. He's not going to be doing that much ISO because now the floor is going to be much wide open. And you guys did say, okay, he may not bring up the young guys, but we still got two roster spots available. Who's to say that we can't get
hey,
two vets to come in?
I was gonna say this, Bob. Like we're shifting this identity of needing offensive rebounds to win. Our offense is going to be so seamless that we don't need guys to be the best offensive rebounding team in the entire league because
Yep,
we're going to try to make the shot the first time. We're not
yep.
out here with RJ Barrett shooting corner threes. We're not out here with Josh Hart relying on Josh Hart to take a lot of jumpers. We're not out here relying on Randall to be a relatively inefficient 3-point shooter. He's an efficient player outside of his 3-point shooting, but we're trying to win games off the first shot. Like we're not trying to rely on
Nah, I
offensive
could agree.
rebounding to be the difference. And you can't have the same recipe to win a game every single night. And our recipe was dominate on the glass, and it created a high floor but a low ceiling.
But Dre, I think that with this team now, it's like I've been saying before. I was the one saying about offensive rebounds and second chances. And what to your point, you're right. Now our offense is going to be that much better to where we're going to be rebounding better on the defensive end. What does that do? Takes the ball out of the opposing team, forcing them to try to keep up with our offense. That's why I keep bringing up Indiana. Now we're getting better at the boards defensively because we're not working as hard offensively and then running back to play defense. We're just our offense is going to be so fluid that we could focus a little bit better on defense and prevention as far as rebounding. So the good job that we were doing with offensive rebounds, now imagine that transition into the defense. It's going to be that much more better because we're stopping teams from scoring and we're also creating even more. And we're going to have higher efficiency. More guys are going to get the ball and it's going to be a lot better and more relaxed. It's going to be not easy work, but it's going to be more consistent work to where everybody's going to eat. And Brunson's still going to be getting his 40, but he's going to have higher efficiency. Cat's going to be at the free throw line a lot because if you look at how they treated us last year, they were bringing us to the line just because they knew we couldn't shoot free throws. Even Josh Hart was missing free throws. But what I don't want to see is Josh Hart in the starting lineup. I want him coming off the bench because that's where he's best used, coming
Yeah.
off the bench. You can't have him coming in and starting. That's where I think that they're going to use these next two spots. They're going to try to find a power forward or they're going to try to find someone who's a veteran that could actually come in and do some work that just wants to come in and do some work defensively or offensively. Because to be honest with you, Josh Hart, his greatest contribution, like you said, Dre, him coming off the bench and getting those high minutes when we're down or when we need it because somebody's hurt, that's what we need to keep using. I don't want to see it change up too much because now you're starting to question what the team is. But the starting five isn't solid yet, but at least we now know what we have.
I think the thing that kind of gets overblown, like yes, we probably lost some depth, but if you look around the league, if you look in the finals, the Celtics basically had like a 6.5 man rotation in the finals with Kristaps even out. And when Kristaps played, they only really went 7 deep because like at that point, when you're talking about winning time, it's about having your best five on the court as much as possible. It's usually not about who wins the championship usually doesn't have the deepest team. It usually is the most top heavy team it's usually the team that has the best top seven. Not the best top eight, not the best top nine, not the best top 10. The depth helps you in the regular season, but in the postseason, it's about who has the best seven and who's gonna win off of that. When the Nuggets won, they had a best 7.5 at best, and they relied on that top five, that top six, top seven to win them the championship. They didn't go deep into their to their. They didn't even free like Bob. They didn't play a backup center in the finals.
I
Why
know.
would they? They had Jokic playing 40 plus minutes. They
Yeah.
had they had Jeff Green as their backup five. It, it's one of those things where it's about having like it's trying to be top heavy, but top heavy in terms of balancing your depth and your top heavy is like you can't be top heavy with having a great four and nothing after that. But you can't have a spread out balance of very good very good players to like a 10 to a 10 man rotation.
Yeah, like you can't you
Championship winning teams win with a great seven. And we're trying to get a great seven.
I think we have that now, but I still think there's one more play out there
Yeah,
because
yeah. There's a few things we can make, a few tweaks we can make, but it's when you look at the Celtics last year, or you look at how they won a championship, their rotation at best it went Jalen Brown, Jason Tatum, Drew Holiday, Derek White, Chris Stapps, Al Horford, Payne Pritchard,
Pritchard,
and that other shooter, that 6'8" shooter,
yeah.
and that was it. Sam Hauser. And then
I
when an injury went down to KP, they brought in Xavier. That's about it.
and
And
also bring
at best it was an 8 man rotation, and really it was 7.5. And Payne Pritchard wasn't really productive outside of hitting half court shots, and they limited his minutes.
And also trading Randall. As much as I said that we get space, now we're not locked in because if Randall had opted in, that would have captured us, and we would have had to been stuck with what we're doing for the next 2 years. And us doing that would have took away the potential of Brunson for the next 4 years. Like you've been saying, Dre, from early in the season, we need Brunson at his best. He got a good 3 to 4 years of him being at this high caliber. I'm sorry, Randall leaving. Now you got Cat. Now you got OG. He's gotten three guys that can help him. Bridges, he's probably going to be the next piece, like you said. You look at it, Randall helped us in the aspect of creating the space that we need to balance out the team. It's like if you have 15 holes, but you could only fill 12 of them. That's still good because now you don't have as much as you did before because you can work with that. You know what I'm saying? So for me, it's like I feel that Randall leaving and being traded, that space and opportunity he's given us to where he won't opt in or opt out. We wouldn't have to wait another year and look into and say, okay, Randall left last year. Like, let's say if he stayed this year, he would have
I
left.
agree.
Then it'll be Hartenstein left. Then everybody be like, oh, Tibbs don't know what he's doing. Then we probably would have been in the hole. And plus with Dante, like you said, his value was at his highest this year because of what he did in the playoffs. Same thing with Randall. Next year, we don't know if Randall's value would have been equal to where we could get a guy like Cat. The price would have been probably even higher. So yeah, it sucks, but the value and the time it took for them to make this move, it's genius. The last 2 years, all the moves they've made, starting with Josh Hart, getting OG, getting Precious Achua, getting these guys have been amazing because we've been winning more than we've done before. Only thing that stopped us was the basic thing that can stop anybody is injuries. So this front office, to me, hey, hats off to you. You guys made me into a believer.
I,
Maybe
I can't I you I can't understand like seeing the moves that they make and not see that it makes sense from a basketball point of view. Like I understand if it rubs you the wrong way in terms of that, like we had guys here and we had to move off of them and like it's a business. It's not a friendship. The NBA is a business. It's not a friendship. It's about and if you're trying to win a championship, you can't be scared to make moves.
I
Perfect,
agree.
perfect example. Look at the Giants with freaking Eli Manning. They started Geno Smith for a half a game, and they messed up his consecutive streak, and then let him start for the remainder of the season. You don't think I was pissed about that? I couldn't say nothing, but hey, he won us 2 Super Bowls, right? That's the whole point at the end of the day. Guys, this is a business. They let Saquon Barkley go for a quarterback. Like you got to look at it. Certain things that even Odell Beckham. Look at how some of these teams and organizations make moves. But this move to me is a fair enough level to where we got rid of two great players for us because they were proven to get guys that are gonna cover maybe 4 to 5 holes that we had. So it's not like it's a bad thing. It's like it's more of a balancy. And now in the league, that's what it's based off of. You don't have more than like two good players, except like if let's look at the team around the league. Three good players, you're lucky to have anybody that can help those three good players throughout the whole season. But with us, we got one star and a bunch of guys that are all going to come in and do the right thing. But hey, guys, I got to
And
go because my phone's about to die. I'm going to still be listening. But you guys be all right. Go, New York. Go, New York. Go.
peace, Bob. What up, Quiet Money? What up, Fritz?
Yo,
Hey,
salute,
what's up?
salute,
What's going
Dre,
on?
salute, everybody. Yo, listen, man.
I,
I understand. I see the optimism. I see when you talk about fit. I understand. I get it. I get it. But all of the to see, we got to get out the East. The goal to win the championship. All the teams that those top teams, they're building. They're adding. They're not subtracting anything from their core.
we just created a core. Like the core that you're talking about, it didn't. Mikal Bridges is part of that core, and he hasn't played a game yet. The core you're talking about includes OG Anunoby, and he hasn't played yet. Well, he barely played, and he got hurt a bunch of times. Like the core that you're talking about includes Carl Anthony Towns, and when you're talking about like a core, most of it is like remember I mentioned like a rotation in terms of winning the championship. It usually comes down to your best top seven, your best top eight at best. When it comes down to winning time and winning a championship, we've completed basically about 80% of that. So Yes, there's probably moves that have to be made going
Can you hear
forward.
me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you. Were you saying something?
Yeah, what's up?
I can hear you. I don't know if you can hear me, but like,
Hello?
yo,
Yeah,
hello,
we can hear you.
we can hear you. I don't think you
Uh,
can hear us, Fritz.
Oh, okay.
That's what it is.
Yeah. Also,
yeah.
with his point, if the Knicks had a whole bunch of assets, they wouldn't have to put all these core pieces in. Like, since our assets are down, you have to put something in. Like, uh, it- these people ain't doing these trades for nothing. Like, uh, the Knicks, as the details are coming out, seems like the Knicks were after town since May,
No, yeah, the
and
Knicks been up the
this is
town
the
for years now.
yeah.
Honestly,
Yeah,
What did you say?
he said the Knicks were after town since for years. That's what he said.
Yeah, yeah, for years, but they were seriously trying to do this deal with just Randall and Mitch, and I guess
They weren't interested in that.
Timberwolves not interested in that, so they wanted picks. They wanted
We ain't
they
have no
wanted
picks.
picks. Yeah, so the only thing they got them starting to get interested was Dante.
Yeah, and at that point, you got to give to get, and then at that
Yeah,
point, it's you got to look at the fact that if we were to keep the same roster together, you're not going to get the same value for Dante if you were to flip him at a later point.
yeah,
Because number one, his production would go down, his minutes would go down, and teams on the
yeah,
league would be like, "Oh, he just had one breakout season. He doesn't have
yeah,
an established track record of being this elite high level shooter. So why would
yeah,
we give you X, Y, and Z if you were to try to trade him at the deadline,
yeah.
especially if
Me
he's coming down off of his production?" So
Me, me and Freezy we kind of been going back and forth on this because I was like, "Yo, Deuce is gone." I was like, "Yo, there's just not enough bench minutes for Dante and Josh." Like it was gonna be a tight fit regardless. And so with them giving up Dante, I think they put Dante in a better spot for him. They also they give Hart breathing room, so it kind of worked out. Um, but I don't you can't look at it as like, oh, the Knicks wanted to give up Dante. They had to give up Dante to make it happen. In the
yeah,
situation just got desperate enough where the Knicks were like, okay, okay, we're gonna give them what they want.
and then hope or try to rely on Deuce to make another stride in his development, which he's been making them. So why not continue to grow at this point?
Yeah.
I mean, I think we're going into the unknown.
I think we were already in the unknown.
No, hold on. First of all, you want to no? So just explain to me.
Quiet money. You cut out. You cutting in and out. Quiet money.
Oh
Say it
man, I
again.
don't know. I don't know why it's doing that. The stream y'all acting crazy with my iPhone.
Hey, are you on Wi-Fi? If you're on Wi-Fi, like just for the temporarily switch to cellular. If,
My
if
sig-
you're
my
on a
sig-
laptop,
my
yeah.
signal ain't good.
Oh,
I mean my cellular signal ain't good in my home. My
I
Wi-Fi
bet.
signal is
So
the strongest. I don't know why it's doing this.
go
I'm
ahead, go
going
ahead.
in
You
and
you
out
sound
right now.
clear now. Go ahead, go ahead.
All right,
Yeah, I can hear you. Go ahead, go ahead.
so like I was saying, we all know tips, right? And I've heard you guys, you too, Dre. I've heard all of you guys complaining about his lack of innovation sometimes.
Yeah, and and this is where I was saying we acquired offensive talent that's so good that they can govern themselves. You just give Tibbs, you just give Tibbs the defense at this point. The skill sets offensively, they can govern themselves and be elite without too much tinkering. Like when you talk about putting Cat next to Brunson, next to McCall, next to OG, the parts already fit so well enough. You really don't gotta think too hard about how we're gonna get offense.
So I'm not
Like
concerned with offense, brother.
Were you
Obviously,
concerned about the defense?
yeah, exactly. Exactly. The defensive principles, the
I'm
thing
not
that make
concerned with defense if Tom Thibodeau is my coach. I'm not concerned with defense.
but you know his principles. You know Jay of anybody else. You know his principles. You know how his defense works. You know what makes his defense works. And losing Hartenstein, everybody like,
Physically, what do you think Hartenstein can do defensively that Cat can't do? Just physically. Now, granted, if you're part of the offense at a higher level, you're not going to be out here looking like Ben Wallace on defense. It's just not physically possible.
Yeah. And
But
uh, and of all people,
I've seen him make worse defenders look capable. And Cat has improved defensively over the last 2 years.
yeah. And of all people, Tom Thibodeau is not going into the unknown with Cat.
You know, Cat he drafted
Coach
Cat.
Cat. And he
He
had a
drafted
problem
him.
with him before.
He drafted him.
Okay, but you know why he had a problem with him before? Tom Thibodeau was the GM, he was the president, and he was the coach. And what Tom Thibodeau, glad we don't have Tom Thibodeau have the reins. Tom Thibodeau was trading young talent and putting older players on the team. Like I would be upset with him too.
That man traded Zach LaVine for Jimmy off the rip. And
because
he tore Zach LaVine's ACL.
he wants what he wants. And that's what the front office is supposed to do for a coach. You give him the players that best suits his style of play that he wants.
Within reason, you don't go overkill with a coach play style if it's not
No, I
dated to
understand.
win. Dated to win in this current iteration. And you think they made this deal without letting Brunson know? They probably had Brunson on the call as it was happening. Like at this
Yeah,
point, go
yeah.
ahead, Fritz.
No. I think just so many people look at this trade wrong. Like I think Julius. I I think as soon as the season over, I think the Knicks were very like straightforward with Randall, and like basically this is what we can offer you, and I don't think it was enough. I don't think it was enough, and I think he wanted to see if he can show more value, or perhaps the Knicks would change their mind and maybe kick somebody else off the team. Maybe take Mitchell Robinson's salary and break it down that he can get more. But the Knicks had a plan. The Knicks had a plan. So as soon as he didn't want to go with the plan right now, they start making other plans.
Like they decided we're gonna go all in on this particular play style because we think Brunson is a top 10 NBA player, and we're gonna surround him with a bunch of top 50 NBA players
Yeah,
that have extremely complementary skill sets.
yeah,
And they're gonna go with the whole is better than the sum of the parts.
yeah. They
And
weren't
that
gonna
can
wait a
win
year.
you a lot in this league. And that can win you, yeah.
They weren't
And
gonna wait a
and
year
they're
for him
cool
to
with
find out what
locking
he wants
in,
to do.
yeah. And they're gonna remember, and they because they locked in these guys on these contracts, they've picked a direction, and now they have ample time over the next 2 to 3 years to continuously build and find pieces that can fit without having to completely overspend. And they're gonna go with this whole is better than the sum of the parts approach for filling out the bench and for filling out other parts that might fit. And I can't knock it. Like I think it's a plan, and I think the plan makes sense. And I think they're gonna go all in to try to win a championship this year. That's why they're dangling Mitch in this process. But I think the idea of like them going in to try to win a championship is gonna be a process that's gonna be for 4 years, probably 3 to 4 years of them continuously trying to build and build and build and try to push their hand forward to win a championship. If we don't win it this year, we gonna be in the running for next year.
Yeah,
And if we don't win it next year, we're gonna be in the running for the year after that.
yeah,
Because the talent and the age of the talent dictates that we're not going anywhere anytime soon.
yeah. And the Knicks are ahead of the
And it's
curve.
all about making minor tweaks at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
It's about tweaks at this point.
the next few years are going to prevent are going they're going to be new challenges as the next few years come along. The Knicks are already. I'm not even being crazy. The Knicks are already preparing for the expansion draft. Like the Knicks are set up in a way that when other teams are going to be worried about the expansion draft, the Knicks ain't going to be worried about the expansion draft.
I'm like, go ahead, take whatever's at the back of our bench, man. Just
Yeah,
take it.
take what you want because the Knicks are so consolidated, and you don't we're not worried about the ninth guy. We're not worried about the 10th guy. Like
Exactly.
you know, I think you
And
look
if
at
you're winning the
Boston.
championship,
Yeah.
your rotation at max is 8. In
Mhm,
reality, in practice, teams that win a championship usually go 7-man deep
mhm,
in the finals.
mhm,
Like they're 7 men deep in the finals, and they're just rotating in and out of pieces that are flexible and fit. That's all it is.
mhm,
They're when you win in a championship, the last team I could think of that won a championship going 9 deep, 10 deep was probably the early version of the Warriors, the strength in numbers Warriors, which was like a decade ago. And then
mhm,
before that, it was the Spurs. And now after that, since then, it's been teams going 7 or 8 men deep in rotations.
mhm.
That's about it.
Yeah, 'cause
And
they can't last because like those guys got to get paid. Like,
yeah,
and that's where you get in trouble. It's like, do I pay you or do I let you go? And a lot of times you have to let them walk.
yeah, you can't pay a 10 man rotation adequate amounts of money. Like it's just so you're better off getting a high impactful 7 and paying them
So,
what you
so
can.
Drake, question, Drake. How,
Yeah,
how do you feel compared to the Sixers?
to the Sixers right now, I think we're better than them. I think
What
the
makes you
only
think that?
thing that I
Hold
like,
on.
like
What makes you think that?
number one, the pieces fit better. Number
Their
two,
pieces don't fit.
their pieces fit, but look, they got Caleb Martin and Kelly Oubre in they starting lineup. That's not gonna pump no fear in my heart. I'm sorry.
No, no,
That
no.
those are their wings.
They have. Hold on. They have Maxi, right?
Maxie's great.
Maxi. They have Embiid. They have
Embiid is
Paul
great.
George, and then they have all the rest of them other dudes.
Paul George is 34 years old on a $200
Mhm.
million
Yeah,
dollar
no, he's
contract.
still a non-time all-star, brother.
He's
It-
not
that
that right
No,
now,
no,
though.
he's still good.
He's still good, but he's not that right now.
I
that
think he's. I think he's a better basketball player than OG Anunoby. Come on, stop it.
that
He could be a better basketball player than OG
Come
Anunoby.
on, brother. Come on, brother. Stop it.
He could be a better basketball player than OG
Come on,
Anunobi. That doesn't mean he's a better. That doesn't mean they're a better team.
No,
yeah.
no. But I'm not. That's not what I'm saying.
Finish this game. Go ahead. You there?
I think the Sixers. I think the Sixers are good, but they're not going flat out. They have to.
What's up, Div?
They got to load manage the whole year.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear
Yep,
you
we can
loud
hear
and
you.
clear.
Yeah, I was just gonna say you guys just ripped them off, man. I don't know how people can be down on this trade. Like literally, when you match up against Boston now, what's Porzingis gonna do to Cat?
I can't believe what shit doing.
Literally, what's he gonna do to Cat? He can't contain him. He can't do shit. And Boston, like
Hey, family show.
Hmm.
I just can't believe people are complaining about this. As a Knicks fan, you should be
No,
super
it's not a
excited.
complaint. It's not a complaint. It's unknown. And I don't care how hopeful and how confident you are until they get on the court. It's an unknown. Championship contending teams don't deal with a lot of unknown.
Quiet
Yeah,
I'm
but
money.
just
how is it an unknown?
But you got to
because
get
you know
to a
how it's
champion. You
unknown. You
don't.
know because the cat never played for the Knicks. Oh, Mikal Bridges.
But it's not an
Well,
unknown to
at some
Thibodeau.
point,
You
Thibodeau
get a
knows these
40%
players.
3-point centering shooter. Like, what the heck, man? And you got rid of a guy that basically complained about the Knicks fans. He complained about everything. And on top of that, it's old school style of basketball that he plays. Everybody was saying the same crap last year when Boston got rid of their quote unquote tough guy, heart and soul. What happened? They won the
They got
chip with
they
a
got rid of
wimpy ass Porzingis in the middle. Like,
No,
I
no, no, no.
just don't get it, man.
Boston got rid of um Marcus Smart, but they added Drew Holiday and Derek White. They added two All NBA
Derek
defensive
White was
players
already
instead
there
of having
before.
one. Huh?
Derek White was there before.
Yeah, he was there.
No, but he's in place. He's still there. He's still there. And you added Drew Holiday.
Yeah,
He
but
was All
money,
NBA coming up.
money. But do you
And
remember
All
when Dre made a comment though? He was talking about how Boston could play five out now, right? And
NBA.
this allowed their star players to just put their head down and drive. No double teams. This is what basically you guys are going to have now. And you got a way better, in my opinion, when I watched Dallas play uh, the Wolves, what I noticed is that they had no guard that could really set up Cat or use Cat properly. And even Gobert wasn't used properly.
Conley.
And what happened was Conley sucks, man. He's old, he's trash.
Oh,
And but
he's
what
still
I'm trying to say to you is this.
underrated.
Here's what I'm trying to say. You got a guard now, and Mikal Bridges too. You saw how he played when he was the man. He dropping 40s and 30s, and like he was good, man. So they're making the decision now. I think the Knicks, they're saying we're gonna have these two guys, Mikal and Brunson, be our go-to guys, and we're gonna be able to set up guys like Cat, and they're gonna have a wide open middle because you cannot leave the guy at the 3 point. If your center can shoot 3 pointers like Cat can, like 39%, what was he last year? Like
40,
it's 40.
40.
Oh my freaking
His
god,
true
that's better
shooting
than
was like
guards.
63.5%.
Oh my god, man, you guys are just destroying. I mean, to me, the Timberwolves. Oh my god, they're so stupid. I bet you they just couldn't get rid of Gobert. I have a feeling they couldn't get rid of
That
Gobert.
nobody wants that deal.
Yeah, I think that's what happened to them, and they had to make a decision because they can't afford to keep everybody.
But
I was just gonna say, quiet money. Like I understand the point of like it being an unknown, but like if there's such thing as basketball theory, if you're just looking at the skill sets of these guys and how they're supposed to mesh and how they're all high IQ basketball players,
Yeah.
I can't view it as an unknown. I can't view it that way. Because if you're viewing it, you could have viewed OG as an unknown, and then he came in and he made
No, no, no.
everything fit together.
Well, we knew exactly what OG was. You gotta understand.
We knew
Is
exactly what OG was, but we didn't anticipate this type of impact.
he plays off of everyone. He's
But
not.
we
He's
didn't
not.
anticipate. He plays off of everyone, but
That,
for the
but
lesser,
that's not a major transition.
I understand what you're saying, Quiet Money. He plays off of everyone, but no one understood that his impact with just being inserted into the lineup would basically equate to the one of the greatest plus minus runs in NBA history. Like you can't just assume that just because you know he. Matter of fact, when we added OG, people were jumping out of windows because they didn't want to trade RJ and quickly, and they were assuming it was an overpay. And then once you add these guys to the team, and you see the fit and how they meld and mesh with multiple lineups, and adds a versatility that we never had, you see that it meant more. Like the idea of it being, you got to understand, like the whole is greater than the sum of its
No,
parts
I
is a
understand that.
thing in
I
basketball.
was never.
You don't win
As
with
much
a
as
bunch of
everyone liked
names anymore.
RJ, Dre, as much as everyone adored RJ,
Yeah,
I always knew he had to go, brother. He's the one that didn't fit.
I
You want to talk
understand.
about
Like,
fits?
I
He
understand. I
didn't fit.
understand. Yeah,
But when we got OG, he fit. He fit perfectly. He showed up things that we didn't have. He fit perfectly. Perfect.
and I'm
Hey,
telling
how
you,
old is
Cat is
Randall?
that same thing. Cat
How
is
old
that
is Randall?
same thing. Randall is 29, turning 30, I believe.
Coming off injury. How old is Cat?
28.
Oh my god, man, this is a no-brainer. Like this is a no-brainer. You have a chance to win the chip, you go for it. I just
And
this is such
quiet
a
money,
great
like
trade.
quiet money. I'm speaking from a perspective of Cat adds a bunch of things that we don't have. Point blank, period. He adds a skill set we've never had before. Not since
yeah,
KP left. And we had a baby
yeah.
KP.
We had a whole subset of the fandom that were willing to trade Randall for Miles Turner.
Now I was
So
never with
how,
that
how,
foolishness. That's
no,
nonsense. It was
but
nonsense. That
We
was
just got Miles
nonsense.
Turner times what?
No, listen, you gotta
It's Miles
understand
Great
Turner
on
on
the
point.
side.
steroids.
But you also subtracted other players. We still did not replace Hartenstein, and now you have to replace Randall as well.
Do
Why do
we?
you have to? No, you don't. You made it pretty far without Randall.
Hold on, quiet money. You have to remember, Mikal Bridges is joining the team. He has production, offensively and defensively, and you're acting as if this man is chopped liver. Like he's not gonna come in here and average basically. He's probably gonna average 20 with elite defense off the rip
Exactly. And he has chemistry with like,
and playmaking.
yeah, and he has chemistry with Brunson. He's played with
You're
him
you're,
before.
t- you're you're talking about like we're missing things and like you're making this assertion that these players don't even improve them as you're making the assertion that these players don't improve alone as they're getting into their primes. You're making this assertion that these
RJ
players
didn't
may not play
improve.
better with one another.
RJ didn't improve, brother. We was waiting for that. You got
McCall
the
is
third
better than
overall.
RJ.
He didn't improve. Some players can improve. That's correct. Some
McCall is
players,
better than RJ.
huh?
McCall is
Cat was
better
number
than
one
RJ.
overall. He should be better than RJ.
We talk, if we're talking about just a top four core right now in terms of fit, offensive fit and defensive fit, I'm not sure there is very many cores that fit better at this current juncture. Now we're gonna probably have to flesh out the bench and try to make sure our versatility stays together. But you can't tell me a core of Brunson, McCall, OG, and Carl Towns don't fit together like a glove. And not even mentioning Josh Hart. In my mind, if we were to use that as a starting lineup, that's a top 2, 3 starting lineup in the league, point blank period. Fit, match, skill set, all together.
Totally agree. I just, and you know what? What about Minnesota? They're going to be worse this year, I think.
No,
Oh yeah,
but
they did that to save money. But they tried to
Exactly.
look at it.
we did Minnesota a favor. Just Minnesota need to get it off that money, and they
Yeah, they
needed to
didn't
get
want
it
to
off
pay him.
in a year. If they didn't deal with us, imagine them at the deadline trading Cat for Ben Simmons and
Pennies
see
on the dollar.
and see what the fans say.
Yeah. At least they have the opportunity to try to flip Randall and try to get more assets or another player that
Yeah,
fits their system a little bit better.
yeah.
But as it stands right now, I don't think Randall really fits with them.
No,
And
He
I think
doesn't.
I
they're
think
prioritizing Nas Reed anyway.
yeah, I think they're gonna go end of the year. They're gonna let him expire, see if they can sign and trade him. Hey, can I get a couple
He might
picks back?
opt in. That's the thing. Like the odds
That's
of him
the
opting in on his contract almost went up.
Yeah, that's the one thing, but it would I don't think it would hurt them. Like I think they could use Dante to trade somebody else. Like they can I think they have a lot of
They
it
have
it it breaks
they've
it up
given
and it
themselves
opens options. It
yeah,
opens
they've
up
given
options.
themselves maneuverability that they didn't have before.
Yeah.
And we've put ourselves that we had enough space to take on a cat contract, to take on his skill set. Because in our minds, maybe Cat isn't a $50 million player, but his impact in terms of
Yeah.
fixing and being a fit, an ideal fit, will make it a $50 million impact.
Yeah. No, but
It
at
will
the
make
same
it
time,
worth our while.
I don't think I don't think you can look at it as if Randall wasn't a $50 million player. Randall just wasn't worth a $20 million increase. It's the increase that's the issue. Um, you have
Yeah.
you have to you have to add 20 instead of aggregating two contracts and making 50, making one that's 50. And I think a lot of
Yeah.
fans don't get that, and they just oh no, he ain't worth 50. It's not about the money. It's that you're increasing something.
It's the roster spot that you're losing
Yeah.
by increasing this one particular player at the same time,
Hmm.
year over year.
I think you guys have made it so you can match up against anyone now. Like you literally can match up against Boston,
Yeah.
where they can't have an advantage on you. Because if you have Porzingis on the court, who would you have had if who are you going to put out there to bring Porzingis out of the paint?
Yeah.
Nobody. So
Yeah.
to me, it's a great move that way. And that's what you got to look at is who do I have to beat to win the chip, right? So when you look at it that way, you realize they made the right move. Now, do you lose some toughness? Sure. But toughness sitting on the bench and toughness that doesn't show up in the playoffs to me is garbage. Has Randall done anything in the playoffs?
Um,
He
no,
hasn't been
but
in.
he's been
He hasn't been in
injured.
a situation.
Yeah,
But
he's been
Right. But
injured.
I'm not gonna down Randall though. I'm not gonna
no,
down
I'm not
Randall.
going to down him, but I'm just being honest. Like people are sitting there saying they're going to lose something that really hasn't been seen before. Like to sit there saying that Randall will perform in the playoffs, you don't know that. You know what I mean? Like I I just think this is a good move, and I just can't. Minnesota now, like they're gonna have nothing but problems. I think because how are you gonna have Ant drive to the hoop? Like if you have Randall out there and Gobert, what are they gonna bench their 60 million? How much does Gobert make, man? It's like stupid money too, isn't
40,
it?
42,
Oh
44 million, something like
shit!
that.
Like that guy's gonna be sitting on the bench to open up space for Ant. Give me a break. They're so screwed.
I think they made their move to have flexibility beyond this year because when Edwards' contract kicks in and he's making his max, you need to figure out ways to have guys that fit. And like they already paid Jaden McDaniels, I think 30 million a year, I believe, Fritz, something like that in that range.
Yeah, he's around there, 28, somewhere in there. Yeah.
Yeah, and
But I think isn't
yeah,
Nas Reed? When did he sign and how long's his contract?
Nas Reed has like 2 more years and he's making like $14 million a year, which
Okay.
is a steal. Like it's a really
Yeah,
really good
that's
contract.
decent. Yep.
And
Yeah.
them doing that kind of tipped their hand that what they were gonna do with Cat anyway.
Yeah.
Like they
Yeah. I
viewed him
think.
as a replacement down the line.
Yeah, I think they're gonna. You'll see them do something mid-season.
Yeah,
You'll
I
see
think
them.
I think I think they're gonna make in my mind like they're so all in on trying to like prioritize Nasri. It wouldn't shock me if he started.
Yeah.
Yeah. He, yeah. That's gonna be interesting, man. Or do you guys think they'll use Randall as center?
I, well, I mean, they
Backup.
probably gonna they're probably gonna have a three big rotation where it's Gobert,
Reed.
Randall, and Nas Reed, and then they're probably gonna rotate it around where Randall might play with Nas Reed, but Nas Reed is probably the actual center on the court
Mm,
in that time. But like they have such like a weird makeup because in my mind they're so forward heavy and center heavy.
yep.
But in my mind, Jaden McDaniel's best position is the four. But they already
Yeah.
have two guys that can play the four,
Mhm.
so it's
Matt,
it's
I'll tell you,
wonky.
Dallas exposed them though. Like the one thing I noticed about Ant, he does not read the play. He does not work good with centers, man. He just doesn't have that ability. When he got doubled by Dallas, there are so many times where Gobert was like wide open in the middle and he just did not give him the ball. He just doesn't read the play.
Mhm.
And I think when you
He's
have
young.
guys
He's
like
young enough to
Randall,
figure it out
when
as
you
he grows, though.
well, I don't know if you can teach IQ, right? Like sometimes I wonder about that because when you have guys
Some
like
guys get
Randall,
better
Randall
over
needs the
time. You're
ball.
never gonna be the
Randall,
elite playmaker, but
Randall
he's gonna
doesn't.
get better over time. He's never
Don't you
gonna
feel?
be. It's like remember when Kevin Durant first came up and he was like a terrible playmaker. Then he eventually turned himself into like a 5 assist guy. He'll
Yeah, I
figure it
guess.
out.
Yeah,
He'll eventually Ant will figure it out where he'll be like a 5, 6 assist guy, and he can make basic reads and he won't miss like the basic stuff.
yeah. It'll be
But
interesting. I'm.
Fritz said in the chat, Julius will be a Mav by the deadline.
Oh, what?
I think so.
That's what Fritz said.
I think it would make sense. I don't think the Knicks would have ever dealt with Mavericks, but I think Timberwolves would.
I don't know why we'd want him. What the hell is he gonna do for us?
For the Mavericks.
Yeah, I don't see it.
I don't know.
Other than like the hometown fit, I'm not sure either.
Other than maybe a salary dump the following year to give space. That's the
No,
only thing.
yeah, I think Mavericks had a lightning bottle last year. I don't think it's real.
Oh, I do. I think we got better. I think we actually got better, to be honest. I think the guys we picked up
I
was
do
going to
think they
help
got
us.
better. I do
Yeah.
think they got better.
I think you're right. We overperformed, right? But I think the only reason is because I think Luca can do that to teams, right? Like if they don't know how to scheme against them. And what Boston did, which was brilliant, they said, no, we're not letting Luca get into the middle. We're not letting Kyrie open. We're not letting
And you're
these two
not getting
open
corner
ever.
threes. You're not
Everybody
getting corner
else, you can,
threes.
yeah, exactly. They're like, everybody else, go drive to the hoop and do your thing or shoot a three. We don't give a shit if you're wide open. And those guys couldn't make shit. Like the pressure comes, man. Eventually, I think where we got lucky is that guys like PJ Washington made some threes, but he made threes in the times he had to make like
The
clutch
OKC
threes.
series, he was on fire.
Yeah, exactly, and that's what killed OKC, right? Like those guys were the
And
guys they
OKC had a
gambled on
similar scheme.
killed them.
OKC had a similar scheme, except the only difference is OKC was like, you can take as many threes as you want, PJ Washington, and the Celtics were like, you can take as many threes as you want, but from above the break, not the corners.
Right, and which is why we got Clay.
That's why you went and got Clay. And also
Exactly.
like I feel like having a training camp, having guys healthy, it
Yeah,
can lead into having a better season. This is gonna be the year Luca probably gets his MVP because you're probably gonna win 55 plus games or something like that in that range.
Mhm.
we'll see because there it depends on Minnesota too, right? Because they really want to, or even San Antonio and what
Yeah,
Wemby
I
does.
don't want to completely detract away from because this is the Knicks channel.
Yeah,
Diff, I understand that,
yeah,
but
yeah,
but as far as like Randall and how he may not have fit in the most ideal way,
yeah.
I think you got to view it from this point of view of how are you going to make your ceiling as high as possible, and I think Cat makes our ceiling higher. Just point.
Oh, for sure.
I think Cat and a generic 3-point shooter raises our ceiling higher than Randall and Dante DiVincenzo. Personally, if we're
Yeah,
trying to win a championship.
Yeah,
yeah,
Now it's a matter of opinion, but
and yeah, and I think you could try to see what you can get from Mitchell Robinson if you can get that shooter. Um,
yeah,
why do
and
you guys want to trade him so bad? I don't understand that.
he's
I
often injured.
it's
He
just
Is
hasn't
that the
really.
reason?
inconsistent.
He,
Inconsistent. You need someone you can rely on, and
Yeah,
at this point, you can't rely on him being there, and you can't rely on him playing at the end of the games because his free throw shooting is so bad.
yeah,
what's his percentage on the free throw line?
Yeah, it was what
sub
was like
50.
it was sub
Oof,
50 at
It was
yeah,
sub.
last
It
that
year.
might have been
hurts.
sub 40.
Yeah,
That
it
hurts,
was
man.
it was that bad last year.
Yeah,
And like
that
fourth
hurts.
quarter, you couldn't play him because he
He didn't. He hasn't grown individually offensively in years
I
at
gotta
all.
say though, that height for blocking and helping the guards and defensively,
He's he's
I don't know if I want to give that up, man. That's so
he's played
important.
him. He's played himself into a rotational guy, but is he a deadlock starter now? I'm not sure anymore.
yeah. Like
Not
Because
he's definitely he brings impact when he's there, but it's just could at this point can you bet on him being there?
like if you're winning a championship, is Mitch Robinson playing 30 minutes a night? Probably not.
No, can't.
He physically he can't even get on a court for 30 minutes. But even if he were, there are times that like his weaknesses are too inconvenient when it's winning time.
mm, I just feel like I would
That's
rather
what it
have that
is.
height
As far as
to
him.
block shots and stop guys from driving easy buckets. You know what I mean? In the center
Yeah.
position than not have it.
Yeah.
I would rather
If,
have that option.
if we went into the year knowing that he would be ready for the playoffs, I think they would keep him around, but you just can't bet
Yeah,
on it. You can't bet on it.
yeah. And if you trade him, you got to get someone big that can block shots. Like you have to.
I think that's what they're trying to ask, like they're trying to ascertain and try to look for is
Yeah.
the next
I,
guy that Tibbs can elevate as far as the center. Because
yeah.
if it's one thing that Tibbs can do, he's like the big man whisperer. Like nobody thought Hartenstein was an afterthought before he came here. Like
Where's Aiton
guys
now?
like Aiden is on the
Uh,
Blazers still.
Okay.
yeah, he's kind of once we traded Randall, he was off limit. Like it's not
We
Yeah.
don't have the money to even
Yeah.
acquire him.
yeah, we couldn't unless you're giving up Josh Hart, which came from the Blazers. I don't
Like
think
which yeah,
there's
yeah.
you couldn't cobble enough salaries to make it work.
What
Yeah.
centers are available though that would fit for the Knicks?
I think they're looking out for like Nick Richards of the Hornets.
Ooh, that'd be a good
Yeah.
pickup.
Like I
I,
think that's the main one at
Ooh,
least.
that'd
yeah.
be a great
That's
pickup.
realistic. That's
I
semi-realistic.
I don't think they're gonna. I don't think they're gonna go for that now. Like I think maybe a deadline they try to put something together,
Yeah, I
but
think they're
I
gonna
don't think they're
step
gonna
back.
go.
I think they're gonna let this core gel and then
Mm.
try to
Yeah.
make the assessment if they need a big or not. I think they're gonna try to go get like another wing, a big wing that can play some backup 4 minutes at times. But at
Uh,
the same time, Precious can do some of that alongside Cat as well.
all
So
right.
it's one of those things where you got to figure it out, I guess.
Dre, did you put together some names you thought the Knicks would be going after with Mitchell Robinson
I haven't put, I haven't given like too much thought into it because remember you got to think about how much his salary is.
and injured and he's injured, so you gotta factor that into a trade.
Yeah, that also reduces his value, and like we're probably not trying to attach any. We're trying to not to attach that last Wizard pick, even though we might have
Do
to
you
do
think?
it.
Do you think the Hawks would do something with you?
I think they're in
Hawk,
rebuild mode. They would, but I don't
yeah,
know if we have anybody in that
they want
salary
expiring.
range.
Yeah, they want expiring deals. They don't
How
want
much is he making?
Mitch makes like 13, 14 million,
14.
14 this year.
You
I
might be able to do something, man. Hold on.
okay, because I
I've seen the thing I have seen is like apparently New Orleans is interested in Mitch, at
yeah,
least his services, but he's not going to be ready anytime soon. So, and I don't know anybody on that team that's realistic. Like, of course, I would love if they could trade Mitch for Herb Jones, but that's not really realistic.
that's not really.
So,
I the, okay. I put one deal. I think the Knicks would trade Robinson in, not a center,
what is it?
and I think people will be upset if I say it. But Mitchell Robinson, Deuce, and maybe some seconds, and getting back D'Angelo Russell.
Oh,
And I know it's gonna make people upset, but Russell with that one
the
year
only thing,
contract, yeah,
D'Angelo Russell might be a malcontent because he might want to feel like he's a starter,
yeah. No, but
and
like I think it could be a
or you
situation
would
where
start him next to Brunson. That's,
perhaps, perhaps start him next to Brunson. He's played with
uh,
Cat previously. Also,
I understand that, but
he's
I'm talking about
his
guarding
shooting,
backcourts with those two.
yeah, but his shooting like pretty much using him as a Dante replacement.
I can understand that, but Dante actually played defense as well. Like he was at the
That's
top of the league in
and that's the
deflections.
one point of it. I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
Dante,
Like
yeah,
I understand. I understand. Like you want to put like a high volume 3-point shooter in that role at the two,
hmm
but what's to say that McCall doesn't function as the high volume 3-point shooter?
yeah.
Like
We haven't
if we
seen
were
it.
to
We
hypothetically
haven't.
speaking, like we haven't seen it yet, but hypothetically speaking, we basically start Josh Hart and he's like a do it all guy at the
Mhm,
quote unquote two, but in reality he'd probably be doing duties of a guy that plays the power forward in that lineup.
mhm, yeah,
I think I think I think at any year in McCall's career, he's probably going to take the most threes this year
yeah,
per game because he's going to get wide open looks. He's going to have the green light that he had a green light. He had the green light to take shots on the Suns, but I don't think he's been this emboldened this far in his career
yeah.
because he's already had been the guy for a moment in time. So I
hmm
think he's going to take anywhere between 7 to 8 threes per game.
Yeah.
Cat is going to take. Cat is taking a high volume of threes
hmm
naturally, and Brunson, as every year, Brunson is taking more threes per game. So I think we, in the aggregate, I think we can put up enough shots to overcome the fact that Dante's not taking his 12 threes per game that he was taking for us.
Yeah.
We can piece that together. in the aggregate because number one, we never even had a big that shot threes at a high volume period, let alone the one that takes the most threes per game as a center.
That's gonna
So
open up the team's game so much, man. So many
and
guys are gonna be able to
he's a
drive to the
willing
hoop now.
shooter. He's
Yeah,
also a willing shooter. He's not one of
you
those
got to
guys
get
that
up on him.
needs. He's not one of those guys that needs to set up and have his feet set. Like he shoots off pin downs, he shoots off screens. He's damn near a movement shooter. He'll
Dude, he
take a
shoots
step back
fast, man.
three. Like
Yeah,
yeah,
he'll do his thing.
it's.
Yeah.
I think I understand. Like Fritz, we might need a guy that takes high volume of threes from the two, but also like we're acquiring guys like Macau. Macau takes a lot of threes naturally
Yeah. No, but
already.
if Macau steps up and takes that many threes, that would solve a lot. That would solve a lot.
He might literally just need to take one more three per game, and the fact that Cat takes about I think 9 or 8 threes per game already, that'll offset the fact that we don't have Dante in my mind because OG is already going to put up a bunch of corner threes, and Brunson's 3-point shot goes like his attempts have gone up every single year. So
Hmm.
losing Dante, I understand that, but I think when you talk about like Dante at the two taking 12 threes, the equivalent of that it's different when when you have an actual center taking that amount of threes. Like the impact is different. Like you expect the two guard to take more threes than an actual center,
Hmm.
but Cat taking 10 threes a night is a little bit different in terms
So,
of how you warp a defense.
so I was gonna ask you. You know how you said Nick Richards, right? He's
Yeah,
making 5 million per year for the next 2 years.
yeah, he's not making that much. That's the only
Yeah.
reason
So
I
how
was
would you
like,
be
it's
able to
semi
make that
relevant.
deal? Who would you throw in to make the money?
I think Fritz has a little bit more insight on how you would make the money work because
Oh, Nick Richard. I'm really not sure how the Knicks. I know the Knicks were going after him.
they were
The
interested,
Knicks.
but I'm not sure how they
Yeah,
do.
yeah,
They use Sims and tie him in with a vet minimum guy, and then give up
Well,
yeah. I think
seconds.
more mid season. I don't think it's gonna work now because right now with Charlotte, Mark Williams is hurt. Mark
Yeah,
Williams hurt last year and he's hurt now.
I think
And
they
he
have him out for like 2 weeks, but he's gonna be back in time for the
yeah
season, I believe.
yeah. So Nick Richards was
But
pretty much
he's
the
coming
starter
again.
last year. So I think they
Yeah,
probably have to battle out between them. Like
but I think that job is Mark Williams' job. They
yeah.
going
So
they've already invested a lot in him.
yeah.
Hey, is Gi?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
That man is cheesing from ear to ear.
It's a yeah. Yo, and thank y'all for rocking, man. I had to put the get the old school Knicks in. For those that love the old school Knicks joint, man. Salute to everybody on the panel. Div, what's good, bro?
not much, man. I'm glad you guys made that deal. I'll say that much.
Yeah, yeah,
Made the Timberwolves worse.
yeah. And you and vicariously made Oklahoma City worse. I felt like after the fact, I think the Timberwolves. I mean, I'm sorry. I think OKC could have traded for Cat,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
But the fact that the Knicks in a weird kind of place kind of eliminated the competition for Cat so that they can simplify the deal with the Timberwolves. I don't know if
Yep.
they did it on intentionally or accidentally. Either way it goes, the fact that OKC is not better and Minnesota may or may not be better, but the Knicks got what they wanted, to me is a win.
Yep. I think you guys could beat Boston though,
Oh
if you're
yeah.
healthy. If you're healthy.
Oh yeah, no doubt. No
But that's
doubt.
with any team, right? Health is with any team. So
Health is unless you're Detroit.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. How's my audio?
You good, man? You
Yeah.
good? Loud and
Can I
clear.
cook a couple minutes this morning? Give my Dre, man. Man, Dre, thank you. Dre, me and you don't always agree. Me and Cowboy Bob don't always agree. But the fact that, and I respect both of y'all, but we just don't, the fact that three of us are, man, listen, man. First things first. 2 years ago, we was talking about Knicks management. We're cursed. We can't get moves. Nobody will do business with us. In the next last 9 months, we traded for OG Anunoby, Michael Bridges, and Cat. And we would have said, all of us would have said, there's no way we could pull any of those trades off, and we pulled all three. So just the fact that our front office is one to be feared when we pick up that phone, for fans not to take that seriously, whether the moves work or not. But to say that Cat doesn't have trade value if it doesn't work, let's set that to the side, right? Somebody said this is Eddie Curry in the chat earlier. That's my number one thing. The number two thing is, if anybody does not realize any move we make is only to make Jalen Brunson solidify him as an MVP candidate, to make Michael Bridges transition to our team smoother, to give OG more shots, to give us some chemistry, that's the only reason this team will be making moves. It's the only reason. I love Julius Randle. When the same fans that are, because I'm reading and I have a very good memory, the same fans who was booing Randall 2 years ago are now saying, how could we remotely trade him today? We made the team worse. The same fans that booed him and then say that Cat isn't strong enough to play in MSG when Randall was just flipping the bird to the fans. I'm telling you, none of you walk by my office. None of you come in and ask for a job. That's just not how we analyze things where I work. It just makes no business sense. The next thing, how does Cat end up here and nowhere else? Because while the players are growing up, they get fined now, they still want to leave teams and go to destinations that they want to go. They just don't go in the media like they used to because they get fined, tampering. Yep. They understand the agents have taught them, if it's going to happen, it's going to happen. But you going out in the media and saying you want to leave, Minnesota might be better today. You know why? Because it clearly wasn't a good locker room. Didn't look like it was a good locker room. They may have more chemistry. We don't know how this is all going to shake out, but I'm happy to be a New York Knicks fan. I'm happy that up and down my Facebook timeline, everybody was tagging me and talking to me and wanting to know how I felt about it. 3 years ago, people was asking me how I'm still a Knicks fan. Today, they want to know how I feel about trades that are shocking the whole league. We have arrived back at the pinnacle of basketball. Whether it's going to lead to a championship, time will tell. But the fact that we're the conversation, we're the organization, and we're making moves, man, God bless the New York Knicks and God bless America. That's all I got. I'm here to cook with y'all, but that was my 2-minute spiel. But for these fans, man, this is why they say Knicks fans don't deserve nice things. Period.
Okay. Bro, I ain't even gonna lie to you, bro. I think we're about to see the very best version of Karl Anthony Towns that we've ever seen. And it's because of a basic principle. Good players make good players better. Great players make great players greater. And the greatest players make great players the greatest. And I think Karl Anthony Towns is a very good player that was in a bad situation. The team building was spotty at best. Even now, when you look at the Minnesota Timberwolves roster, they have a couple of good players, and one could suggest that the fact that Anthony Edwards is not in the best player in the NBA conversation is a direct correlation to Minnesota mismanaging assets. Because they had the number 1 pick 3 times, right? They got Cat, they got Wiggins, and they got Ant. And the fact that they hadn't gotten it right yet is a correlation on them and not the player, right? Because if you can imagine if Anthony Edwards was drafted by who had the number 2 pick in that draft, in the Anthony Edwards draft? Dre, you remember who had the number 2 pick in that draft?
Was it LaMelo?
Who had the pick though? The number 2 pick? No,
I don't remember.
Charlotte.
Was it Charlotte? No, it was James. If you can imagine Anthony Edwards' development with Steph Curry and Steve Kerr in them, what we even talking about, bro? What are we even talking about?
They probably on another dynasty,
bro.
Right.
Right. But the thing about lottery teams, is the thing about lottery teams is this: they get to the lottery for a reason. If it's not directly injury related, like the Golden State thing was, right, where everybody is hurt. The same thing happened with San Antonio and Tim Duncan. San Antonio got the #1 pick and drafted Tim Duncan because everybody was hurt,
Yep.
right? But the thing about I'm not Wiseman, but the thing about Cat is we look at what Cat did in Minnesota, but we don't look at what Cat could have been if his career was managed properly. Like when we think about Kevin Garnett, a lot of people when they talk about Kevin Garnett, they talk about the Boston version of Kevin Garnett. They don't talk about the Minnesota version of Kevin Garnett.
But they did him dirty.
Yeah, man. Yeah. By always bringing in lesser talented, mismatched pieces. But one year,
Son, they lost draft picks because they were trying to give Joe Smith, of all people, money under the table. He wasn't even that good. What is you? He was an actual bust.
Yeah.
By the way, it was the Lakers that picked number 2. They got D'Angelo Russell.
In that draft?
Yeah, 2015, right?
No.
You're talking about Cat. That's the Cat draft, not the Ant.
No. I'm talking about the Anthony Edwards draft.
Oh, Anthony Edwards. I thought you said Karl Anthony Towns.
No. I'm saying the reason why I'm saying the correlation with Minnesota. Like for instance, I'll give an example, and I talk to Starrelli about this all the time. When the Dallas Mavericks make a draft choice, you can bet your bottom dollar. If it's a high pick, you can bet your bottom dollar Dallas is going to hit on their high pick, whoever it is. Right? Since 1980, since the day they came in the league, I remember seeing their logo come out before they even played basketball. I remember Dallas was a new hot thing. Their logo was fire with a cowboy hat and the M and all that. I was alive to see the Dallas Mavericks be an expansion team, right? From day one, when they took Mark Aguirre, they hit on picks every year, right? And the picks that they make, right? The picks that they made always contributed to their roster in one way or another, right? But Minnesota, even when they got the pick right, they did the pick wrong, right? Like you remember when they drafted Kevin Love, they got Kevin Love right? But the picks before Kevin Love and the picks after Kevin Love were wrong, right? Kevin Garnett, they drafted Gugliotta, KG, Marbury, and couldn't keep them together. Chris Carr, y'all remember number 43? Chris Carr used to be their shooting guard. Dude used to jump out the gym. They had all them dudes, right? And they couldn't build around those dudes, right? And so
just like the Gobert trade, right?
Yeah, just like the
stupid move. You got a 22-year-old and you go get Gobert. Like what the hell?
Right. And the thing is, the irony is you draft Walker Kessler. Minnesota drafted Walker Kessler, right? And since Walker Kessler has been in the NBA, he's been a better rim protector than Rudy Gobert. The numbers dictate that Walker Kessler is a better rim protector than Rudy Gobert. Is he a better scorer than Rudy Gobert? Nah, his hands ain't as great as Gobert. Is he a better passer than Gobert? Yeah. But he's not a better finisher than Gobert. Gobert, when he catches it down there, is basically money. Right? But you wouldn't be in a financial crunch if you just kept Walker Kessler and went out and signed a point guard or drafted a point guard. Right.
There you go.
So Anthony Edwards wouldn't have to be your number one or two defender and number one offensive playmaker.
Yep.
Right.
And he's not a playmaker. That's the hard part.
Yeah.
And makes it tough.
And so the point that I'm getting with Cat is if you bring Cat to the Knicks where all he has to do is just play basketball and not worry about lifting a moribund franchise out of the mud, where he could just go play basketball, I think you'll see the better version of Karl Anthony Towns. I think Cat is going to have some games this season that's going to make people forget about Mitch Robinson just like that. Like, we're going to forget about Mitch so fast. But because, Dre, the first thing number one is, you remember how we were like, yo, why don't people pass the ball to Mitch in the post?
That man don't got hands.
But you know what Cat has?
Hands.
Elite hands.
Freezy. Freezy, the first time within the first 3 minutes of the season, they're gonna hit Cat with a trail 3-pointer, and then you're gonna be like, oh, I understand now.
Yep.
You got a guy that could drop 60, man.
Yep.
Like, that's not common. You got a
And
guy
he is
that
our
plays
third
center that can drop
option.
60.
He's our third option. I'm sorry. Here's why I got that. That's legitimate what I'm saying, and we shall see. Because when Mikal Bridges got traded to the Brooklyn Nets, they said, "What are they doing?" They gave all that up for a guy who's a role player in the Phoenix Suns. That made no sense. And all the man did was destroy 30-point game, 10, high defense. He get that ball in the open court. He's not going to stop and wait for nobody. He's not waiting for Brunson or Towns. This offense is going to be clicking on a whole nother level, and I'm going to end with this while I go on mute and then go into this golf cave, is this. Good luck.
Hey, you got to hit some balls, bro. Hey, man.
Good luck bringing up the ball with OG and Mikal on your tail on both sides of the court. You think these ring defenders going to stop defending because Towns is there? Man, this is crazy.
Yeah, I think the second option is going to be dependent on any given night. It's going to be a 2A, 2B thing with me.
Yeah.
But we all know Brunson is going to be the number one. We already made him the guy, but it's going to be a 2A, 2B thing. Some nights you might need a perimeter tandem, and that would be Mikal and Brunson. And some nights you might need that pick and roll option. And hell, some nights Cat will be the guy that goes off for 35.
I can see that happening opening night.
Yeah.
Opening night in Boston, I can see Cat going for 40 and 20.
That'd be
with
awesome.
No KP? Of course.
Yeah. Cat being guarded by Al Horford, Luke Cornett, and the other dude, I keep forgetting his name. Yeah.
Xavier Tillman.
Xavier Tillman. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, Dre. Dre always had my back on it. I keep forgetting that dude's name, and Dre be like, "Oh my God, it's Xavier Tillman, man."
Hey, you get my back for names before 2000.
I keep forgetting the dude's name, bro. I promise you. But
if I forget Jeff Rulin's name, you best believe you gonna get it.
Yeah. I think that the fact that Cat has never played with a all-star level point guard is going to open up some things you've never seen from Karl Anthony Towns.
Not even all-star, all NBA, MVP votes getting point guard.
Yeah, because we forget that I can name the point guards that he played with, bro. Ricky Rubio, Jeff Teague, Derrick Rose. I mean, what's the dude named Dunn? Remember Dunn?
Oh my God.
Yeah, this is garbage.
Yeah, they never added a playmaker around him that manipulates defense so your big can get easy baskets. But what he does is creates his own shot, and if you foul him, he go to the rim and shoot 88% from the free throw line.
Yeah, I seriously don't understand how people can look at these things and think that it's a bad move. Like, I don't get it, man. I don't understand it.
Right. Yeah. The thing is I don't think we should look at these NBA players in a vacuum. We need to see how they fit in their new setting. Right? Because if Mitch could catch a basketball, bro, Mitch would average 14 points a game just off of that alone. Right? Just
simple lobs. Yeah.
Yeah, and the double teams that Randall get. Randall catch the ball and look at Mitch wide open. He like, this dude is 17 feet away. If I throw him a bounce pass, it's going out of bounds. If I throw it up too high, he gonna bobble it.
And even that too, Freezy. Like, he could be 5 feet away from the rim, and he'll try to dunk it instead of just laying it up off the glass.
Super Dave. Yeah, y'all remember Super Dave? Man, I here looking like Super Dave with a cape on, trying to.
He don't have really no touch. He don't really got like a simple post hook. He tries to dunk everything, and that's
because of
not wise.
Yeah, because of lack of touch. Yeah.
So do you guys have to do a 1-for-1 trade now because of the salary cap situation?
It's complicated.
See, that's what I'm wondering.
We do like a lot of numbers thing. Like, remember, like the trade for us to even facilitate the trade, we're literally signing and trading guys that we had no intention of bringing on this team from last year.
Yeah.
Like, so when we talk about like trying to make it work, we're signing like guys like Daquan Jeffries that wasn't even on a radar to make a team in the league, and we're
Yeah.
using them as sign and trade to trade them to other teams just so they can cut them,
Yeah.
just to make the money work.
Yeah.
We do a lot of calculated
It's a
gymnastics over here.
non-guaranteed salary. So you sign them to a non-guaranteed salary, move them to another team. They cut them. It doesn't affect their salary cap, but it opens up a roster spot for us.
Yeah,
So it's like a lot of cap manipulation. And salute to them for being that smart of an organization. Because teams that don't necessarily find stars in a draft have to find other ways to bring in stars. And so
you got to
So
you
salute
got
to them
to
for identifying their weakness and playing towards their strength.
like we MacGyver our way to like a lot of draft assets, a lot of draft capital. We minimize and maximize as much as we can because we're not building through the draft anymore.
Right.
We're not like we built this team through free agency and trades, which
Right.
is not a common occurrence for all the contenders in the league.
I
But
said we
Triple
couldn't
J,
do it, Dre. I said it'll be possible we build through free agency and trades. Nobody wants to come here and we can't trade with nobody. I gotta sit down and shut up. I don't know what these other fans is doing. I'm sitting down and shutting up.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
And that happens when you maximize every opportunity you can in a draft. You trade
Right.
down and get as many second round picks as you can.
Right.
You find diamonds in the rough.
And I
Right.
was cursing them, Dre. What are they doing?
Yeah, me too.
So boring. Why are we doing this?
Me too.
It's just like I don't like, and me too. Like I don't understand it, and then it comes out, and you look at the end result, and you look at the roster, and it's like a bunch of guys that have high ceilings that are in the middle of their prime. How
I
can you
think you
even
have to
complain
go
with that?
for it. Yeah, I think you have to go for it right now. This is
I
your
think that
chance to win the chip. Like you got to go for it. You got to go all in right now. Because to me, when I look at the San Antonio Spurs and OKCs and all these teams that have 40 freaking picks, man, like it's stupid, right?
Right.
And
Right.
you're not going to be able to compete with them pretty soon for those star players because they're going to be able to give up a bunch of picks, right? Like it's going to be tough to compete for superstar players, right? Unless the Knicks, they're lucky that they're a big name, right? You never know, a guy might pick them, right? So
Right. Right.
you're in a good spot. Like this is your chance. I think it's a good move. You guys went for it, and I personally think if healthy, I think you're more balanced than any of the other teams. Boston is the only one that can give you a challenge, and I think you guys can beat them.
Right. Yeah.
Because I think Brunson is more clutch than those two. I think they got lucky that they had such a big depth advantage against Dallas.
I,
I think that. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Dre.
I think the thing that kind of gets lost in this too, Freezy, like hypothetically speaking, if we went into the playoffs and we played Boston, they would try to like put Drew Holiday on Julius Randle because Julius Randle is not going to take a bunch of threes,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and they would live with those results. It's kind of like what teams normally do. They put like smaller guys on Randle, then they bring that zombie double team over, and that kind of sets their preset rotations. I think just with the fit with Cat, it puts teams in disarray in terms of rotations, in terms of how you were to even guard us in the first place. Because there's no real easy answer, and there's no real set answer to how you guard this team with Cat taking 10 threes per game, shooting 40% from three every
Honestly,
single night.
if you dump it into Cat on the post against Porzingis, he'll eat him alive unless they help. He'll
Right.
eat him alive. He'll destroy him. People are
Well,
sitting there
he's
complaining
skilled
Cat's
enough.
not tough. Man, Cat would eat that guy alive.
I think Cat is the type of player that can eat most centers. The reason why I think a lot of people feel like Cat may be soft is because he'll do things during the game, like the things that me and Dre point out about Josh Hart. Like he'll make the bonehead play. Like, what planet are you on, bro? Like in what world is it okay for Karl Anthony Towns to foul the opposing center 35 feet away from the basket? And you'll get a play
Yeah.
like that. You'll get a play like that 3 times a game. And you like, Cat, what are you doing,
Sometimes
bro?
he spaces out and get like offensive fouls for like no reason.
But is
Yeah.
that coaching?
No,
Because I'll tell you, man, that whole team is stupid. Like
Yeah.
the year before, people were laughing at how stupid they were, right?
Yeah.
The Minnesota Timberwolves, they make a lot of boneheaded plays off of aggressiveness, and their identity is to be extremely aggressive, so refs can't call everything.
Yeah.
But when
Yeah.
you get into the playoffs and you're going against a star player, you can't just
And,
be a crash
and
dummy against a star player. Star players are going to get calls eventually.
you know, and I think Cat and I think people are going to start turning on Anthony Edwards too, because they are heat check central, bro. Like they are heat check central. Like why, bro? If you down by 2, you made 2 shots in a row. You still down by 2. With you, that's why Quickly is gone.
Make a
Emmanuel
good
Quickly
decision.
plays for another team
Like they get rid of discipline as soon as they think one guy is hot, and they just start
and
spiraling out of control.
start going for theirs, bro. Right? You got the basketball is again. It's one of my things with Jalen Brunson. I think Jalen Brunson lost game 7 for us, but I'm not blaming him for that because he's got to learn. He got in those moments. You got to recognize that the situation is more important than your green light. Right? When Dante was cooking, remember Alec Burks was cooking in game 7? Alec Burks and Dante, the combination, chopped the lead from 19 to 8 points, and they brought in Deuce and Jalen Brunson to give those guys a rest. The first thing Deuce does is he shoots a contested 3-pointer out of the corner. It's a brick. They go back the other way and knock down a 3. The lead is 11. Jalen Brunson, seeing a lead get away, shoots a contested 3 over 2 dudes not twice his size. But y'all understand where I'm going with it, right?
Yep.
Like the dude shoots a contested 3 over 2 6'6" dudes without even getting into an offensive set, right? They give him the shot like 30 feet away. They don't even guard him and let him look at the rim, not understanding that they're baiting him into taking that shot, and he took it. They get the thing, go the other way. They get to end one. The lead is 14, and then the snowball effect is back. They go on a 6-point run, and then now the lead is our season's over, basically. So it's one of those things where the heat check is not one of those things that you do in the playoffs. Even when Dre, you remember when Buddy Hield took that heat check on us when they were down 9,
Oh
and
my God!
Buddy Hield took that heat check in the corner.
Just
That
kill their
was a
momentum.
terrible shot, but he made it.
It could have killed their momentum. Yeah.
But if he had missed that shot, that game,
Backbreaker.
bro, that's what I'm. Yeah. And I think that's what Minnesota. That's Minnesota's weakness. They don't have a point guard. They don't have a dude to tell Anthony Edwards, "Hey, young fella, calm down, relax. You can get whatever you want anytime you want it. You the number, bro. You and Cat, both of y'all have physical advantages over dudes that play your position. That's why y'all were the number 1 pick, right? You can get your thing anytime you want it. But we down 7, right? The other team just went on a run. We're down 7. We're struggling to score. Why are you just gonna throw up a smothered 27-foot 3-pointer with nobody back?
Yep.
It makes no sense. That to me, that's what Minnesota. But the thing is, if you're Chris Finch, you have to balance the thing of your star players' confidence and managing the game. Like you can't just go to him and say you don't have the green light at 27 feet. You can't go tell him that. But you expect him to learn the game situation. You teach him like, hey, in these moments, bro, we struggling to score. Why are you throwing away possessions? And I think that's one of the things with Cat. Cat has never played with a guy like the best version of Carmelo is when Carmelo Anthony played with Chauncey Billups. And people can dispute me on that, but he scored such and such points. Nah, the best version of Melo is when he had Chauncey Billups, right? And so the best version of Karl Anthony Towns is when he has a veteran point guard, all-star level guy to be like, hey, Cat, bro, you can score anytime you want. You don't have to force up these 30-foot threes, bro. You don't have to. You don't have to look at every defender as if they're food. And I think that's what Cat's thing is, because to Cat, every defender in the league, I don't care who it is food to Karl Anthony Towns. It's the reason why he was the number 1 pick.
Is Purina?
Yeah, Purina. Basically, yeah, in the pouch, in the pouch, right? Not out the box, right? So the thing with Cat is if we have somebody to rein him in, right? To like, hey, big fella, we gonna give you 18 shots a game. The 18 shots are just gonna look different, and they're gonna
It's gonna
come
be
in
an
at
easy 18.
yeah, they're gonna come at different times of the game. You don't have to come out the gate taking 9 straight shots, bro. You gonna get your 18 shots, but it just might be 4.5 shots per quarter instead of being featured at the beginning of the game, and then you on the bench at the end of a game, right? It probably won't look like that. It probably look more like, you know, let this offense cycle through. Let this perpetual motion offense. Everybody dribble, pass, and shoot. Everybody dribble, pass, and shoot. Hit the open man. They double on the perimeter. You seal your man in the post, and now all you do is drop step into a shot, whether you make it or not. If you make it, cool. If you miss it, you're probably fouled going to the free throw line, right?
Of your guys, how many of them can actually put the ball on the ground and get their own starting lineup?
Oh, starting lineup probably
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
Brunson and McCall.
I would
Well, you
say,
don't. Carl too, man.
yeah, Cat
Oh
has
yeah,
hands.
Cat.
He can
Cat
put
has
the ball on the
hands.
ground.
I was gonna say with this additional spacing, it makes it a lot easier to put it
Does
on the
OG
floor.
not do it?
Because all you got to do is beat one man at this point
That's what
with
I'm
this
saying.
spacing.
Like, which one of them can do that?
OG is not a confident ball hand. He's competent, but he's
Yeah.
not confident. Like if he
McCall can,
sees, if he's one where if it's he's not OG Anunoby is not a risk taker on offense. Let me just put it that way.
but he can attack
Mm.
a closeout, which he'll be
Easily,
doing often.
easily.
Oh yeah, there
Maybe
you
the
go.
best in the NBA. Him and Mikal Bridges may be the best in the NBA at it. Dre, that's why I call our wing combination London Bridges. That came to me when I was in the kitchen just now. And for those of y'all that don't know the London part, anybody know the London part? The reason why I call it London Bridges? Chat. Does
OG
any
is from
OG is
London,
from
Ontario.
London? Yeah, London Bridges. So yeah, they attack the closeouts with and without the basketball. Like Devin Booker is probably the best at attacking closeouts with the ball, right? Right. But with and without the ball, you definitely have to give it to the super athletic small forwards that know how to cut without the ball. Like when the defense rotates away, they attack the close. Okay.
they
To
start
explain
getting
their
like a
basketball
running
team.
start before they even get the ball.
Yeah, yeah. So what happens is this is what I'm saying. Like if just a second to explain it right. When the defense attacks a potential or potentially closes out on a corner three, Mikal Bridges zooms in behind the defender that occupied that evacuated the space. So OG and Mikal Bridges attack the closeouts that's not directly at them, go to the front of the rim, and they get
Oh,
easy
they
dunks.
cut, they slash,
Yeah, they
they
slash, right?
slash. They're slashers. That's
Right,
really hard to defend, man.
right,
That's why Boston got killed by Golden State when they lost.
right.
The year
Yeah,
they lost, they were cutting and slashing, and these guys didn't know what to do
right.
defensively. Yeah,
Andrew Wiggins
yeah.
attacking close out on Steph Curry. Like as soon as the defender leaves, this dude slashes right into that space and is wide open for a dunk. And you wondering why he's always open. Well, the reason why he's always open is because the defense has to pay attention to the primary threat. So when we say attack the closeout, and what I'm saying is London Bridges attacks all the closeouts, right?
Wow.
Not just the closeout on them with the ball. Right. So we know Devin Booker. You know the guys that kill closeouts, Jason
Hmm.
Tatum, Devin Booker. These dudes make a living on you being over aggressive when they get the ball. But in general, like the guys that make a living, like you don't know how they shoot 48, 50% from the floor, are the guys that get the easy shots by playing basketball off another gravity type dude in the lineup.
And they just play high IQ basketball.
Yeah, Andre Iguodala. Like you like, how does this dude can't
This
shoot?
man can't shoot, but he's shooting 52% from the field off, and because his shot diet is like 60% layups and
Right,
dunks.
Latrell Sprewell. Y'all remember Latrell Sprewell?
Yeah.
Bro made a living by attacking a closeout on Tim Hardaway or Chris Mullin.
Who do
Latrell
you think?
Sprewell made a living attacking closeouts on Sam Cassell and Kevin Garnett, bro. Made a living on that. And that's why I think London Bridges is both could probably shoot 50% from the floor or thereabout, somewhere in that range. And if
Who do
they
you?
shoot 80% from the free throw line, I think we're talking about now,
Oh.
you know.
Who do you think will be your toughest matchup? Boston and who?
I don't think Boston's our toughest matchup.
So who do you think it would be? Would it be
Orlando.
Philly?
I think
Oh,
it's
you think
Orlando.
wow, eh?
Yeah.
That's
Because
a good
I
point.
think Orlando is going to drag us into a back alley. Like it's ballroom brawl with Orlando because they have so much length and athleticism that it'll neutralize our
And they're
length and
tough too,
athleticism.
right? They
Yeah,
have a
yeah.
couple of tough guys that
But they have
scrappy.
like they have in their starting lineup. They have like 4 guys that are 6'10" and taller.
But they still don't have a guard, right?
They don't have a natural playmaking point guard
Right.
that
Yeah,
can.
so that's
Yeah,
gonna screw
but
them
that's why they
offensively.
drag us to a back room.
Right. Right. That's why it'll be a battle royal with Orlando. And the thing is not that they can beat us, but you did say toughest.
Yeah.
I think we can, if I'm just going by what was asked, right? The thing is is Orlando going to be a top 3 seed in the East? No. But if you're talking about what team will give us the biggest problems, I think it's Orlando because they'll constantly be coming at us with length and athleticism and waves where it'll be hard for Jalen Brunson to. Jalen Brunson at times is going to be guarded by Jonathan Isaac, bro.
Oh my God. That dude can play defense, Isaac.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Holy
yeah.
shit. I think he's amazing
Yeah. Yeah.
If he could ever stay
defensively.
healthy, he'd probably
Oh,
finish in
he'd be
those
amazing.
defensive player of the year
Yeah.
Easily.
accolades.
Yeah.
Easily.
But the thing about offensively, he doesn't. The reason why he's not in the OG and Mikal Bridges conversation is because he's not a natural cutter slasher, right? He's not going to do that effectively. He's not an effective finisher at the rim.
Or
He can
shooter.
or shooter,
Or
right?
shooter, yeah.
He can finish at the rim, but it's always situation specific. Like he ain't going yam on your big man, but he can finish. And where OG Anunoby is a quick leaper, Jonathan Isaac is a more what's the word for like the dudes that's 6'11", not explosive, but they can jump. You know what I'm talking about? Like he's more like a Kevin Durant dunker. He's not a Giannis dunker,
Yeah.
if that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's not explosion. He's just towering over
Tall.
you and just
Yeah.
reaching over you.
Yeah.
You don't think the 76ers, eh? Because
No.
of the depth at center?
No.
Or not the depth, but the Embiid at center.
Remember,
Hey,
Embiid's gonna have to actually guard someone.
Yeah. And it did. Let me ask you this, just in general. No disrespect.
Mhm.
But you've been watching basketball for a long time, right?
I wouldn't say a long time, but not like you guys. Not
Yeah.
the experience you guys have.
Yeah.
No.
So but here's the thing. In all the years that you've been watching Philadelphia basketball, how many times have you heard the narrative this year about previous Philadelphia 76ers team?
Oh yeah, no, that's true. Good point.
It's always the recycled narrative. But it's always,
Yeah.
oh, this time we're for real.
Yeah.
Like a movie. Like it's
Yeah.
like it's
You're
It's
right. No,
another
you're right.
sequel.
And he's literally hasn't gotten past the second round, has he?
right.
Embiid.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. So he's always
You know what it is, Div? If you look historically, like you could even look up analytically, he's literally at the age where Shaq fell off, where Hakeem fell off,
ooh, that's scary.
where all the great bigs historically have fallen off is age 31, 32.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's literally at the age where they all fall off a cliff. The only one that hasn't fallen off a cliff completely was Tim Duncan historically.
But he chose to take less shots.
Yeah, he had to take lesser usage. He was not the prime focus of the offense.
Yeah.
Embiid is too selfish to not want to average 30.
You remember
no
that
matter
was
what.
that was the Tony Parker transition what Dre is talking about.
Yeah.
The Tony Parker transition, Steven Jackson, Ginobili, all of those.
And then it's transition to Tony Parker around 09, 2010, and then Kawhi came in 3-4 years after that to shoulder the load even more.
Yeah, where Tim Duncan was very good, but he didn't have to shoulder the load. Or he shouldered the load, but he had help. Let me put it that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, like he could only do it in spurts. He couldn't do it over the course of a whole game. Anymore.
And plus the league was transitioning away from big men being dominant like that anyway.
Yeah.
You're transitioning to the point guard era and then the wing era, and the Spurs were at the forefront of all of that. Just to give them credit, they were. San Antonio was at the. They may have been the generator of all of that, right? The generator of. And listen, man, point guards are going to be the wave. Wing players are going to be, because you never heard the term Euro step until Manu Ginobili, bro.
Yeah.
At least I hadn't. I hadn't heard the word Euro step until I legit heard them say Manu Ginobili. Dre, am I wrong? Am I behind the curve on that? Or
He definitely made it in vogue. I think the move existed to a lesser extent before in the 90s,
right,
but they never called it a Euro step.
right.
And then Manu popularized it, and then Wade put it on steroids
Yeah.
when when he was doing the move at full speed.
At full, full speed. That man was leaping 10 feet with each foot.
Remember he did the move where he made Kevin Garnett do a 360.
Yep. That's when you knew Kevin Garnett was washed.
Historically, around that age, 32,
Yep.
31, 32 is when great bigs fall off a cliff.
Yeah.
And it's a steep one too. Like it's not like it's not like they go from averaging 20, they go from averaging high 20s, 28, then they fall down to 23.
Yeah.
Then you blink 2 years later, they down to 15 points per game.
Right. And they complained a lot, bro. No.
And those knees are on borrowed time.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's the reason why Philly. I've been watching basketball since I've been a student of basketball since like maybe 80. I had been watching basketball and playing it for a long time before that, maybe 5 or 6 years before that. But being a student of the game, like reading basketball cards and reading the box score and the daily news and all that stuff, since about 80, I was probably about 11 or 12 or whatever. And so with that said, Philadelphia has always had these same narratives. Oh, we're going to go out and get a star. Now we're ready. And I'll tell you some names that y'all probably have forgotten about that they added over the years. And y'all are probably like, y'all remember when they traded for Chris Webber? No, right? No, nobody remembers. Anybody remember when they traded for Jim Jackson? Remember Jim Jackson? Anybody remember him? They traded for Jim Jackson. You remember when they acquired Larry Hughes? No, nobody remember when they.
No.
Right? Exactly. Exactly. And they do this every 2 or 3 years. They're like, no. Anybody remember when they traded for Jimmy Butler? And they're like, now we're for real.
And then he left. They chose Tobias Harris over him, by the way.
Yeah, bro. They traded for Jimmy Butler and still didn't get out of the second round. Right? But now we're for real. Now we have Paul George. Bro, y'all added Paul George.
Who's injury prone?
And people are telling me that
man is 34 years old, man.
That's crazy.
Dre,
he's not going to play. Freezy, he's not playing 50 games this year.
Bro, it don't matter. To me, if he played 82 games, he's still not better than OG Anunoby. Right?
No,
he could play 87 games. He's not better than OG Anunoby at this point in his career. Yeah. Right? Caleb, I'm supposed to be afraid of Caleb Martin? Kenyon Martin Jr.? Is that what we fear? Nah, man.
Who's their little guard again that does pretty good, but he's a liability on defense? What the heck's his name?
Maxey?
Yeah, Maxey. Yeah.
Maxey's
They're all hyped on him. I'm not sold on him.
Yeah.
He's good offensively, but I'm still not sold on him. I think in the playoffs he gets exposed.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's too small.
Yeah.
Gets pushed around.
Bro, so the Philly thing doesn't bother me because you know how you become a numb or oblivious to something that happens repetitively? When it happens, something like the little boy that cried wolf.
Like the Clippers winning.
Yeah.
We've been waiting for that.
For real. We hear this like every 3 years, bro. We've heard this every 3 years for like the last 40 years. So it's like at some point you're like,
Clippers.
It's white noise. Yeah. So yeah, man. So so the Sixers don't scare me. the Pacers don't scare me at all, right? The Pacers don't scare me because I
They
think
went 7 with our D squad.
yeah, yeah,
That's a good point.
yeah,
That's a great point. Yeah, if you guys weren't injured, you beat them.
It was Brunson and a bunch of guys that were injured.
yeah.
Man, it would have been interesting if you guys would have been healthy, what you would have done against Boston.
I think we would have given them issues, but I feel like their ceiling was just so high. It would have been hard to beat them over a
No,
seven
because they
game. I
didn't
probably
have.
probably could have. I
They
think we
wouldn't
would
have
have
had
went 6
Porzingis
or
though.
7. Oh
They
wait,
wouldn't have had Porzingis.
they didn't have KP. That's correct.
Yeah, I think you guys would have beat them, man.
If we
Right.
were healthy, yeah.
That would have been interesting. Dallas versus New York Knicks. That would have been different.
We might
That
get
would have
that
been.
this year.
Yeah, that'll be something. I don't know. It's pretty tough, man, to go back to back there. Like, it's going to be interesting, but you got to stay healthy. You got to have luck on your side.
Yeah, every
Yeah,
champion has a modicum of luck.
Yeah,
yeah,
you got to have some luck
yeah,
with
yeah,
health and
yeah.
matchups too, right? If you go into a dogfight and then you just beaten up, and then you play the next team and guys don't have
That's
their
what happened to
legs.
the Nuggets. That's kind of what happened
Yeah,
to the Nuggets and Wolves. Like they scrapped and clawed, and then you just came through and just wiped them up real quick.
And ironically, I don't see these teams being the cream of the crop again next season. I think it's all hype. But I think um once this playoff season is over, I think all the teams that are flawed that felt like corrections are in house are going to realize that they have to go outside of what they normally do to add a course correction. I think Minnesota understood that. It's the reason why they moved on. One of the reasons why they moved on from Cat. I think they probably had 4 or 5 reasons why they moved on for Cat.
hmm
One at some point you can't keep banging your head against the you know what I'm saying, the thing in order, with that one guy. You already had like what 9 or 10 seasons, 8 or 9 seasons of Cat.
yep,
Was it, and you're like, yo, we just can't win with this guy. Let this guy go somewhere else and see if he can win somewhere else. I think that's issue number one. Number two is the money. 3, I think there's a fit. 4, I think you have to understand that you have to fully give the reins to your most recent number 1 pick and not have it be a pseudo timeshare where
hmm
you already know who the full-blown guy is. Like
yep,
with Cat in the picture, you're like, yeah, we got these super talented guys, when you really know it's the Anthony Edwards era.
yep.
Right. So there are multiple reasons why I think they moved on from Cat. Hey Dre, as we speak, man, I'm getting comments from around the NBA universe about the way the roster look. And I'll share part of that with you once we get
Bad.
yeah, yeah, you know what I'm saying? So but anyway, y'all, I gotta get out of here so that I can get ready for football and have to go buy some VGA cables. I think VGA cables is what you use for dual monitors, right?
Not VGA, but well, you can use HDMI. You
It
can
depends
use
on your laptop. What do you have? Do you have
Um
HDMI? What do you have on the
Uh,
laptop?
so I have one computer. I think it's HDMI. I bought and then I have another over here.
there's DVI.
I, yeah, I have to figure this thing out, bro. I'm not
This sport
Freezy, I can help you
this
with that if you
sport
want after. I'm
okay.
very good
Okay.
with that
cables.
knowledge. Yeah, you just have to tell
Display
me.
port cables. There we go.
There's
Oh,
display port. It all depends on your monitor too, man. You got to match the cable with your laptop end
But
and
most
your monitor.
monitors just take HDMI. You only need HDMI. Like
Well, not always. You got to be careful. It depends how old the monitor
most.
is, and yeah,
Yeah.
you
so
got to
yeah,
be
if I
careful.
yeah, because I bought the Spectre monitors, the curved ones.
Did
You know
you
what I'm talking
just
about?
buy one? Did you just buy it?
Yeah, I got it. Yeah, a
Well,
couple of
you got HDMI on it for sure.
Oh yeah, if it's a
HDMI or DisplayPort, it don't matter.
well,
If
well,
it
yeah.
well, well, the thing is, the computer only has one port, and I have to use the splitter to get. Do I have to use a
Oh, okay.
splitter?
Yes, if you only have one port on the computer, you got to get sort of like a dock. I can
Okay.
give you a
oh
link.
yeah, splitter.
Where do you want me to
Yeah,
send you the link, or should I send it to Dre and he can send it to you?
Oh, you can put it in the private chat.
Oh,
right
okay,
there.
yeah. Let me look that up for you here.
Yeah, yeah. So Yeah.
What's your what laptop do you have?
So I have a I have a HP. This computer is I don't know what model it is, but it's a
If
it's
you
an
bought it
HP.
within the last 5 years, it has an HDMI port.
Okay. Yeah, and yeah, so I have two HP computers, two towers, two desktop towers.
Hmm.
So yeah.
Do you have USB-C or no?
USB-C looks like what? Is it like the
It's the
octagon
thin.
looking
It's
I'll
like the thin.
I'll
It's
show
like the
you.
thin.
I'll send you a picture. Hold on.
Yo, let me do this. I'll
Hmm.
end this
Hmm.
here and I'll continue the conversation with y'all, and then that way I can
Yep.
work on. So
Yep.
everybody, thank y'all for rocking with us with 2 super long shows this morning. Thank y'all everybody for coming through and hanging out with us. Man, we appreciate that, man. We're gonna get out of here. Peace, y'all.